Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
What it do, everybody? Welcome back to the show. This is episode 934 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody today, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Where's my feedback? Where am I getting sound?
I do not know. I noticed that on my end from you as well.
Is that me?
Yeah, it's on your end, brother.
All right, just relax.
All right, I'm relaxed.
Pull yourself together. All right, just relax.
All right, I'm relaxed.
Pull yourself together. There we go. I think I found it.
You think you found it?
If I didn't find it, I don't know. I don't know where it is. I still hear it.
Yeah, I still hear it too, brother.
I think I found it. If I didn't find it, I don't know. Welcome to this show, everybody. This is episode 934. Glad to see everybody back. Yeah. Welcome to the show. Mike, why don't you take over for just a minute while I figure out what's going on this end?
All right, yeah, we'll take on over. Welcome back, everyone. Another groundbreaking episode of the Two Dum Yinzers. So happy to see everyone here, man. We got a lot to talk about today. You know, we got the Steelers. Guarantee we'll probably talk about Aaron Rodgers. Definitely going to have some good draft talk coming up here today as well, everyone, man. It's, you know, like it says on Ryan's screen, 29 days until the draft. I can't wait till it gets here. I know a lot of you guys can't wait either, man. A lot of stuff happening there. We got pro days today. I think today is the Ohio State pro day where, you know, where Colin is going to be at, and there's a lot of good prospects coming out of the Ohio State the pro day today, man. There's going to be lots of Steelers talk today, boys.
Hey, welcome back. Glad to see everybody. Thank you, Mike. You are a saint, a savior, and a saint you are, my man. Welcome. How are you today?
I am the Ron Francis to your Mario Lemieux. You are the top line center. I'm the second line center, and I think I pulled through well right there.
That was pretty good. Great job, my man. As always, welcome back to the show, everybody. Episode 934. It is 29 days, as Mike was saying, till the NFL draft, and it's coming. It's coming fast. A few pieces of news. We did get confirmation yesterday. It's on like Donkey Kong. I talked to our people Duquesne Pilsner, and it is on, Mike. I mean, there was no doubt that it was on, but I just had to confirm yesterday, and we are in. We're going to be down at the draft. It's going to be a blast. We can't wait to see everybody, especially people coming into town and a lot of people that isn't, already here. It's going to be nice to see everybody down at the draft again. 29 days, Mike. It's pretty unbelievable because it was just 100 days. It was 150 days. And now here we are, just 29 short days away from the NFL draft in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Dude, right around the corner, man. I'm salivating, dude. It's one of my favorite times of the year.
Absolutely. Let me say what's up to everybody on the board. I would like to say hi to everybody. I don't want to miss anybody today, Mike. Today is, of course, Hump Day. Everybody knows that.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
And I do want to say what's up to everybody. I don't want to miss out on anyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Don't drink that. What's up, Corey? Corey Beavers. He says, hey, first in. What's up, guys? Always great seeing Corey Beavers. My man. How you doing, sir? Also, John Steeler Freak, Big John Stud, middle name Mud. He says this, that Aaron Rodgers isn't good enough to hold teams hostage anymore. It was said by Chris Sims, of course. A lot to get into today. We'll be talking about that and so much more. Corey at Don't Drink That says this. I got a funny Beck meme for you guys tomorrow. I got to make it today, but it's going to win me game ball for at least 2 days in a row. I can't wait to see it, Corey. I cannot wait to see this meme. It sounds great. There we go. I do want to say welcome to Baseball Kid. Welcome, Baseball Kid 5. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Terrible Board. Great to see you. He says hi, and it's nice to have you on the board. Welcome. Also, John is saying this. He says Ryan is tease buffering us. It's never a tease whenever the technology is involved. It's just not. It's warfare.
It's the constant battle between him and technology, and
it's my own personal Korean War. It really is. It's it's a mess. Nobody wants to be involved with it, and I just can't wait for it to be done. But you know what? We got it fixed. Welcome to the show, John. Always great to see you. Baseball Kid, I do want to say thank you. Complimenting the beard. Very, very appreciative of that, sir. Pour a drink, Mark Malone. Mark Malone, this is his answer, Mike. If the technology's effed up, pour a drink. If your day is bad, pour a drink. If a tornado's coming towards you, pour a drink. Mark Malone, there he is on the Terrible Board. As always, great to see Mark Malone, my man. Always, Mike, coming up with good resolutions.
You know what? I pre-planned to follow Mark Malone's advice.
You're all set. I also do want to say what's up to Yinzer Joe. He says, what's up, Yinzer? Always great seeing Yinzer Joe on the Terrible Board. My man, hope things are going well for you, sir. Mark Malone again, pour a drink. Mark's really adamant on this, pouring a drink today. John says Ryan is about to go Chernobyl.
He was this close. He was this close, boys.
And I just don't. I listen. I'm not going to get into it, but just some unexpected, just weird things on my end when it comes to this one computer, in particular, because it will turn its own volume up and down, as you see. I never turn the volume up on that computer, and as I get ready to go, volume's full blast. So whatever's going on with it, I don't even know where the volume button is on that computer. I just had to find it, but
again, you and technology, man. Like you don't even have to look at it. It just knows when to fuck with you.
It's a thing. Let's say what's up to Mark Malone again. He says this. Can't wait to see Beck and Dunker in the black and gold. Also, impromptu Mike isn't half bad. Steeler Freak says that. I guess. Tortilla, my man, he says my sources tell me what's up. Always great seeing Tortilla Jackson all the way from Sacramento, California. There he is, everybody. Welcome, Tortilla. RB says if only Omar is there. We know we have zero interest in Ohio State, guys. Omar couldn't even evaluate a toddler's puzzle. We're going to talk about that a little bit today too. We got a lot going on. Just learning. Always great seeing you, sir. He says hi. Nice to see you, dude. Yinzer Joe, I'm so sick and tired of the media fans boohooing because they think Rodgers is holding the team hostage. If it was any other player, nothing would be said. It's ridiculous. You know what? I'll get into that too. Just learning. You know what? About 4 nights ago, just learning. I was thinking. I was laying in my bed. I was thinking, my God, I would just, I'd take Joe Burrow in a second. And I know all the things, everything everybody was saying. This guy can't stay healthy. He's never stayed healthy for a whole year. Blah 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 blah. But I thought, you know what? I would do it in a second. I really would, because you're not guaranteed your guy that you're going to attempt to make your franchise quarterback is going to be the guy. So again, the 7 year wait that we're on right now from when Ben retired or however long it's been. I think with Joe Burrow, Mike, and at the end of the day, it's a crapshoot. They pay him a gazillion dollars, and I think he likes his situation over there. But I would take him in a second, because again, what you have when he's healthy. He is elite. He took the Bengals to the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. That's no easy task. At the end of the day, I would take Joe Burrow in a heartbeat, because that answers a lot of your questions. And again, Mike, you're looking for that franchise, that face, that guy you want to be here for a good 5 to 7 years at least moving forward. And again, if you could keep him off the ground, keep him off his back, keep him healthy, I think that he would be great to have. And that was something that Debo did say. We'll get into that and a lot more today. Also, dude, what's up? He says, afternoon, fellas. Always great seeing dude. He says, too many moving parts. Absolutely, man. And Corey, don't drink that, says he also plays for Cincinnati. And well, they are a terrible franchise. It's how they handle their players. And I do want to say, if you love conspiracy theories like I do, go check out Corey. It is podcast right here on YouTube. Don't drink that. Whether it's the UFOs, the government, or even the most elusive Sasquatch, go check out Corey. Don't drink that. Lots of good content over there right here on YouTube. One of my favorite shows on the tube. Go check it out, everybody. Don't drink that. Welcome back. Let me grab Yinzer Joe, and then I will get into things here. Yinzer Joe says this: Joe Burrow and those receivers are the reason they have an offense. They can't afford a defense. It is insane what's going on over there. I would even go so far as, you know what? I'm not going to get into that just yet, but welcome back.
Andy Weedle is also at the Pro Day. I just caught that on Twitter as well.
Is Omar over there?
Omar and Andy Weedle.
So I did have the news. Omar was going to be at the Ohio State Pro Day today. So him and Andy Weedle in the house. And even if, as the comment said earlier, who knows if we have any interest? I'm sure there are people we have interest in there. But at the end of the day, I don't think you can't not go to Ohio State's Pro Day. I don't think there's any excuse, especially if you're from Pittsburgh. Get in the freaking car, drive over to Columbus, and see what the hell's going on, or wherever the hell they're at. I just think at the end of the day, it's a smart Pro Day to go to, because again, a lot of good players out of Ohio State. No two ways about that, Michael.
My favorite player, Cam Hayward.
There you go, Cam. Let me get into something here real quick, Mike. I want to read for you. Let's go to Skiller Freak. He says this real quick, though: 25 to 40% off of first-round picks become long-term success, or of first-round picks become a long-term success. That, of course, depends on the definition. I would take Burrow over. I would, too. I'd take Burrow right now. And I'd probably give up Mike's left testicle to have him. I like, seriously. It's, he's that guy. Again, I understand his health issues, and but at the end of the day, it's you have an elite quarterback. You have to figure that out. Chad, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Chad Schrader on the board. He says this: what's up, Ryan and Mike? And here we go, Steelers. Here we go, baby. Always great seeing Chad Schrader on the terrible board. And I do want to say good morning and welcome to the Voluminati official. I'm proud of myself. I've been a working 43-year-old man, been married for 7 years, bought a house, 2 kids, and most important to me, I haven't wiped my ass after a crapping month. A month? That's elementary. I haven't wiped my ass since 2017. You just got to make sure. You just got to make sure you stand underneath the water when you're in a shower. It basically does everything itself. But wiping is overrated.
If you say so. I will not endorse your choose anti-wiping stance. But hey, no, I don't kink shame. You guys do what you got to do.
But I do want to say welcome to Voluminati official. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board. Nice to have you here, and nice to hear about your problems. Tortilla says this: the Bengals would never trade Burrow in division. I get the Browns did it, but I know, ultimately I understand that it's a dream. It's a pipe dream, but I would do it in a second. I'd load up a guy that maybe has a lot of money on his contract. I'd see if they want a pass rusher over there, which they may. I'm just saying, I don't know. A lot to get into today. That's what I wanted to do, Mike. I do want to read real quick what was said by Debo on the Debo and Joe show, guys. This is from Debo yesterday, Mike. A lot of talking about Joe Burrow, and I've been conversating with him on here on a bi-weekly basis. And we've been having conversations. Harrison said, he said this, my quote, I talked to him on the phone yesterday and we've been talking about him. He's going to go up there and talk to Mr. Mike Brown and see what he needs to do, to do whatever he needs to do to maybe get in the black and gold. This is what Debo said about Joe Burrow yesterday, Mike. Again, it's not going to happen, but at the end of the day, it's fun to think about.
It is fun to think about. It would be nice to actually see Joe Burrow on a competent franchise. Other than that mess down there in Cincinnati, it's not going to happen. But my God, it would be fun. It would be nice.
Can you imagine just getting a quarterback to be able to step in and just be an elite quarterback, just do the things that they do, not have to worry about all the struggles? I would trade that. I would pay him money to avoid all that, and then to have a guy again. You work extra hard and do whatever you got to do to keep this guy off his ass in the backfield, and whether you have to draft offensive linemen for the next 5 years, nothing but offensive linemen.
Well, he'd walk into a better offensive line already, even with Broderick Jones.
I know
having to turn like this at tackle. He'd be in better hands.
I know Broderick. Unfortunately, when you have a sore neck, you have to turn your whole body. That's what Broderick's going to be over there. It's unbelievable. But again, we're going to see how that it's going to play out with Broderick Jones moving forward. A whole lot of things going on with this football team, as said on the board earlier. A lot of moving pieces. There's no two ways about that. I love the offseason. I love it. I love it because it's just an extension of the season. And again, it all comes together. If you love your team, no two ways about it. Let's see. Let me get back on the board, Mike. Again, I'm going to try to keep up with the crowd. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm going to try my best. I swear. Let's go right here to RB. RB says this, of course, RB from the show, and we want to say thank you for all the great work that you do, Mike. Just thrilled with everything that RB brings to the table. Yesterday was in the house. Was very informative, and I do want to say expect Fincher to be in the house Friday. Can't wait to see the Fincher as well. I'm going to go right here to RB. He says this, honestly, draft talk per se, but I'm worried about losing Weedle because of Khan being called a GM. Khan is a bean counter, and that is he needs to be a CFO or something, and Andy Weedle needs to be GM. That's interesting. That is interesting. Illuminati says this. He says, I'm glad we're on the same page. It makes us more alpha male than Mike. That's why my wife let me occasionally cheat on her. She obviously isn't allowed to cheat on me, though, because she's female. Of course. That would just be weird. Come on. Let's do scoot up here to Tortilla. Tortilla says this, Debo on a generational run of viral takes. I'll give him that. Yeah, you're not kidding.
He's on something.
You're not kidding. Yinzer Joe says, why is there so much confusion with the signing of Savage? I was going to ask Mike that. I don't know. I didn't realize he wasn't signed, but I seen this morning on several articles, Mike, that's the question. They're expecting him now. I mean, there's no problems, but what's the holdup?
For what I was able to pick up from just researching this is there's a slight injury concern with him. I don't know if it's like a slight medical thing. So I don't know if it's a nagging injury, something that could cause an injury. And Savage is trying to, the wording of the article that is like he's trying to work through it. So I don't know if it's like something that he's trying to rehab, and the Steelers want him to be healthy enough before they put pen to paper. That's what it's seeing right now, because they haven't announced that they have signed him or he is going to sign, and it's due to like a medical holdup at the moment.
All right, there you go, Darnell Savage, guys. I was curious. Like I said, I know that there was a few days there where they had guys in. They were signing a bunch of people that were brought in. I just was under the assumption that he was in there as well. But Mike, apparently he's not. So that is the scoop on that. Let me finish that comment by Yinzer Joe, though. He says, why is there so much confusion with the signing of Savage? I heard again that he was and wasn't signed. What's the issue? Medical?
Yep.
Big John Stud, middle name Mud, says this, Mike. He says, number one, Rodgers enjoys the attention because there isn't much news right now. Number two, the media loves the Rodgers discussion because there's nothing going on right now. And three, the NFL as 365 days is always a stretch. You know what? Good point. That's a very good point. And also, Mike, just the overall lack of urgency by the Steelers. The media. I mean, there's urgency, but at the end of the day, Mike, it doesn't feel like Rodgers isn't coming back to me. And again, Mike McCarthy, they're as close as they are. They won a Super Bowl together. They worked together. They were very successful together. there's just nothing in me that doesn't think that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be here. I think it's going to be the same as last year. He's going to piss around like he does and do what he does. And at the end of the day, I think he'll be here.
I think he'll be here too. And if not, like we've been saying for a long time now, is the Steelers obviously have to have plans in place for if he does come back and if he doesn't come back. And that's how they're operating. They don't seem to be in a panic to do any at all. So that tells me they're comfortable with however the decision goes. Because like we've been saying too on the show, they've been building this roster to make it quarterback friendly, quarterback proof almost, to where they can remain competitive no matter who the hell is back there. So that's why the Steelers aren't pressing.
I had another thought yesterday, Mike. I thought, would this be interesting? Bear with me. Let's say Aaron Rodgers comes back this year. Go out, and you know that I'm totally against this. I am not for going out and drafting Ty Simpson. But let's just say Aaron Rodgers comes back, draft Ty Simpson. Have Ty Simpson and Will Howard just kind of duke it out all year long, battle for reps, practice against, get a lot of reps together, and then have them go into a competition next year after Aaron retires, and one of the winner of that competition will start. But then listen, it's not over. Then draft the quarterback that you want next year. Get the guy that you want. Like say that you want to try to get Archer. Say you want to try to get whoever you want. Draft him as well. Now I know I'm getting into Mark Malone territory here.
You are very much.
But then once the rookie comes in, then see how the kid does next year. I mean, if he starts, he might be good. If he doesn't, then the following year you have a 3-way quarterback competition with the 3 quarterbacks that you just drafted 3 years in a row. I know it's very Cleveland Brown like and very Mark Malone like, but at the end of the day, at some point, the law of average, you gotta find what you're looking for. And again, you can't refer to Cleveland. You just can't, because they don't do anything well and nothing works right for them. It just doesn't. They're very cursed. So I'm just saying, Howard, get your guy, say Ty Simpson this year, and then maybe next year get whoever it is that you really want, and ultimately try to have those 3 battle to see who the best quarterback is. Make one your starter, make the other one your backup, and get rid of the other guy. Try to save some money at the end of the day, and get yourself a bad third-string quarterback like teams usually have. At the end of the day, again, like law of average, you're eventually going to find what you want.
Eventually, yeah. But I'm not going to burn a first-round pick this year on Ty Simpson and then turn around and draft a quarterback in the first round again.
And even if that means yielding your franchise quarterback for the next 10 years, this procedure, a very odd procedure, if you will.
Very odd.
But everything that we've done to this point certainly hasn't worked since 2004. Obviously the franchise quarterback we had, it wasn't an issue, but everything we did since then has been a total disaster. So again,
if I was going to do something like that, I would do it for our buddy Beck, and like use one of my 3rd-round picks on Beck, and then next year do a 1st-round pick. I just, because if I'm drafting Ty Simpson in the 1st round this year, I'm more or less saying, okay, he's my guy going forward.
No,
I get what you're saying. You got to get the talent to keep going. I just, that might be too far outside the box for me. I don't mind going outside the box. I think that might be too far for me personally, but if it would work, I would fucking love it.
But we can stay inside the box and keep continuing to fail over and over, I guess. I don't know. That seems to be the more logical thing.
Yeah. Oh no. I get the logic behind what you're saying. Like everyone else is doing this. We've been doing this. It's not working. Let's try something completely different. What's the worst that can happen?
And
we end up back right where we are. Okay. So with McCarthy coming in, you could try something off the cuff with a new coach coming in. For one, nobody expects the greatest thing in the world from a new set of coaches on a team like this, in the situation that we're in. So you could pull something off like this and make it a 2-3 year plan, because you got him for 5 years. Let's see if we can make this work. And if it works, fantastic. We're set. And Mike McCarthy will probably get re-signed after 5 and be around for a while. Or if it doesn't work, we say, look at this. What kind of failure was this? Just a bad decision? Was it McCarthy? But if you're going to do anything outside of the box, I would say now, because everything else they do, Mike, moving forward, it's going to be for the betterment of the team, for the long term of the team. They're bringing Mike McCarthy in. Of course, Coach T stepped away, but McCarthy's coming in, and he's going to be expected to do good things and keep the team running and keep it afloat and move forward. So again, at the end of the day, if you're going to do something crazy, I think you do it early.
That way, if it doesn't work, you kind of get it behind you. But again, I understand your concerns as well.
Yeah.
And again, it's Ty. I mean, he's not even guaranteed to go in the first round. And could you pull him in the second? Maybe. I don't even.
If he makes it to the second, he'll probably be there in the third. Then you start thinking, okay, if we like him, maybe take him in the third. Like that wouldn't be a bad spot if you want to get a quarterback this year. Third round would be the round to go get a quarterback to compete with Will Howard to see if he's better, and then you go forward from there. And then next year, you're still not. People aren't going to look at you weird by getting a quarterback in the first round because you're like, oh, this guy was only a third, this guy was a fifth, this guy's a first. Now you can have a nice little competition there. That I could work with. Like if you get Beck or Simpson in the third round, which I don't like the idea of, but if they do it, I would understand like why they were doing it, because kind of like what you're talking about. You're going to set yourself up, get your main guy next year. Now you have 3 quarterbacks. Hopefully one of them hits.
And that's the thing. I mean, we could do what we're doing and continue on the path. And let's say we draft a quarterback next year that we like. And let's say he doesn't turn out. And then you're like, oh, shit, this is a high pick that everyone really thought was going to be a good quarterback. And guess what? They don't always work out, as you see a lot of times. The high drafted quarterbacks, they just don't make it in the league. But again, Mike, a lot to get into while talking about quarterbacks. I'm sure nobody else in the world is talking about quarterbacks right now in Pittsburgh. We might as well talk about quarterbacks. Just kidding, of course. But Mike, let's talk about quarterbacks. One guy that is off the table, if you're looking for, a veteran leadership, Joe Flacco is off the table, Mike, as he's going back to Cincinnati. He's not going to complete the quadfecta this year, at least, as he might going back to Cincy. He will be back there backing up Joe Burrow. Would be a good place for him if Joe Burrow would happen to jump ship and go to a division foe. But you know what? I'm just going to leave that right there, Mike. Joe Flacco again played for the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals, going back to Cincinnati. Three of the 4 legs right now, Joe Flacco, and he's in 19. This is his 19th season, and this is a 1-year deal with the Bengals.
That's a good move by Joe Flacco. By Joe Flacco going back to a team that he's familiar with. And if Burrow gets hurt again, hey, there's nothing like thrown to T. Higgins and Jamar Hayes.
Yeah. And that's one thing I kept seeing, like the comment, Mike, when you're talking about Joe Burrow, main comment, he'll only go if Chase goes with him.
They can have DK Metcalf, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward. We'll just give them all of our old aging players for their good younger players. I mean, it works in Madden. Let's do it.
Talking about old veteran quarterbacks, if you will, Mike. Next on the list is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins says this. He feels rejuvenated after the 2025 season. He says this, Mike, quote, I'd like to give it another shot. Kirk Cousins is ready for another season in the NFL. Joe Flacco's tied up in Cincy. Kirk Cousins is not off the table, Mike. As we followed rumors throughout the offseason, we know that he could very well be a plan B if Aaron Rodgers falls through. And that can really confuse a lot of people because a lot of people are on this Will Howard, the rookie, this, that. Let's see what this kid has, Mike. But again, Kirk Cousins, he will be available as of right now. Again, we don't know when or what we're going to hear from Aaron. But at this point, Kirk Cousins, he says, Mike, I'd like to give it another shot.
He can do it somewhere besides Pittsburgh.
See your ass out of here.
Just do not come here. If Rodgers decides to retire and the Steelers' backup plan was Kirk Cousins, I'm driving to the Clemente Bridge and I'm taking a swan dive off.
Well, Mike, we do have the draft. There's going to be a lot of people. You know what? If it happens sometime in the next 29 days, we can make that happen. And you know what? I'll definitely get it on video for the show. I will not disappoint. But let's do Scoot along on the board. I don't want to miss anybody today. A lot of stuff coming through on the board. Thank you so much. Let's go right around. We're going to go right around
her.
The Bengals right here. Tortilla says the thing is the Bengals would ask for like a third or a fourth to trade him into the I'd
give
him
a 4 first.
I'd give him first. I'd give him a first at least, and then I try to, like I said, get unload some weight on them guys because they need defense over there. They have nothing. Let's go to Tortilla says maybe even more, maybe more. John says this Steeler freak. For all we know, the Steelers and Rodgers are keeping quiet too. That's you know what. Ultimately, that's what I think is going on. I just do. They're just again, Mike McCarthy and our Aaron Rodgers are friends, and I can't imagine that this relationship just between those two alone can get this far without Mike McCarthy just kind of say, "Hey, shooting a text over a text. A text takes 2 seconds." Aaron, just between me and you, you coming back because I'm trying to put this team together. So I think that they know, and I think that he's going to be back. There's not again like the team's not displaying enough urgency for me. Yes, the media continues to talk about it, but at the end of the day, they're building a team as if they know that they're going to have a quarterback in place. And I just, again, at the end of the day, I'll be very, very, very surprised. Very surprised if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back. And again, not the most ideal situation, but not the worst situation either. Again, at some capacity, we have to figure out how to get that franchise face in there, Mike. And it just might be another step along that path, but it's sure taking a little longer than we would have wanted it to, I think, overall.
Yeah. Well, how long from Bradshaw to Ben? That's we're in the early stages of
but in a different time though. The teams are built different. Other teams are able to rebound a lot faster than they were. And again, a team like New England, that team was in the Super Bowl last year. That wasn't a great team. That was a team that we beat. Yes, we needed 5 turnovers to do it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't like they ran us off the field.
Yeah.
It's just a different league. I think you can put together a winner pretty easily, especially in sports in general nowadays. You just go out and pay a little extra money, get some extra good guys, and you have a good basketball team. You have a big 3. Or in baseball, you have this. Or so again, I don't know. Something's got to come to a head at some point, Mike. I just don't know how much longer, because again, every year it's been a different quarterback. What I'm saying?
So this is the first year we've had
even
the same starter.
Even going on what you said, that period between Bradshaw and Ben. I would have to think that it's different because it's been a different quarterback every single year since Ben left. That wasn't the case back then. It's different. It's definitely different.
It's different. Like, would you rather suffer through like a Bubby Brister type quarterback or try to go and get a guy, try and get someone in free agency who's
that's not
better than that year every year?
You know what I mean? It's not really a choice. That's just something that you have to eventually have a risk. It's risk factor, and we've not been doing very well with the risk factor. We just haven't. We thought Russell was going to be the answer. We thought Kenny Pickett was going to be the answer. We thought, and these aren't exactly great resolutions to begin with. And then we figured, let's give Fields a try, and let's give Mr. Trubisky. He's got to be right. So I don't know. We'll hope that this gets fixed sooner than later, because again, as you all know, your team just generally doesn't go to the Super Bowl if you don't have your guy back there. So let's hope that could happen sooner than later for us. Back on the board here with, I think I have to finish John's comment. I'm sorry. For all we know, the Steelers are and Rodgers are keeping things quiet to affect other teams' draft plans. Regardless, he's 10-7, material at best. I'm in the same movie and same seat, and that's and ultimately at the end of the day, I'm going to root for him because if he is our quarterback, he's our quarterback. But at the end of the day, I ultimately recognize we have to figure something out. We have to. I mean, again, we're pushing a decade. After the Kenny Pickett, people said, "Oh, this is going to push you back." Okay, that's fine. It pushed us back a few years, but are we any closer than we were prior to that moment that we made that pick? I don't think that we are. So again, hopefully sooner than later. Yinzer Joe says this, Rodgers doesn't want attention. He just automatically gets it. He was on McAfee saying he's private and wants him and his wife's name out of their mouths. He's just trying to decompress and enjoy time. Corey says this, don't drink that at Tortilla. That's true unless we threw in TJ in a package, him with picks to offload that contract to pay Burrow. It would take, again, it's a pipe dream, and it would certainly take a lot. No two ways about it. Steeler Freak says private isn't going on TV. Private isn't going on TV. Tortilla says don't drink that. If Khan makes that happen, I'll kiss his feet. And now I just want Khan to do it just to see Tortilla kiss his feet. Yinzer Joe, he says this making things clear on television is the only way to tell people. Corey says this. He says that Tortilla, if anyone could pull off a fleece of that magnitude, it's him.
He does have the way.
He has a way. He has a way
a way.
about him. Steeler Freak says Burrow isn't going anywhere. BS off-season topic. Also, you're not wrong. Tortilla says that to Corey. Donald, what's up, dude? Donald Lurie back on the board. Great to see. Always great to see Donald on the terrible board. He says, I saw a post on Z saying Joe Green passed away, but haven't seen or heard from any other source. It was not correct. Every once in a while, they do this, and it's either Joe Green or I think Rocky Blyer was up there about a month ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're all about. They try to get clicks, and they just make shit up because Mean Joe Green is alive. Mean Joe Green did not pass away. And again, I if you don't see it everywhere, I think that's the tell. If you don't see it on the news, if you don't see everybody talking about it on social media, and the tricky thing is, Mike, when you go into it, all the people commenting, they all believe it.
Yeah.
They're all like, oh my God, that's so sad. Prayers, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, if you go anywhere else, and again, the news, I think would be the best tell if you don't see anybody talking about it, because again, Mean Joe Green passing away would be as big as Franco. And Mike, I think we all knew that Franco passed. As a matter of fact, they had the funeral basically in the Acrisure Stadium parking lot. You could go up and visit his casket before he was buried. So again, that is not true, Donald. Mean Joe Green is alive and well as far as we know. And again, I would certainly continue to look at other sources because those keep popping up. It was Rocky Blyer last month, and he's fine as well. So
yeah, like those Facebook pages and like Twitter accounts is just, oh God, there's so many like troll and accounts out there that post so much fake Steelers stuff or just fake sports stuff in general for every team. It's like you read it, go, huh? Then you start reading, like, maybe not. It's some of them are really good clickbaity. They kind of convince you at first.
I mean, at first it catches your attention because it's like, oh my God. And
Like the logical part of your brain stops for a second. And you're like, wait a second. Let's go take a quick look here.
Yeah. How weird. Who does that? I don't know. Let's move on. RB, he says, just blindly throwing darts doesn't work. Ask the Browns. It's been, 25? But the calculated moves we're making isn't exactly working either, though. That's, you know what I mean? But point taken. I definitely understand the Browns, what's going on up there. It's hilarious. But again, that's the Browns. They just seems like they try to fail. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says we're going to have 4 or 5 Rudolphs on the bench. Great. Laugh my ass off. RB says this, the Jets, Cards, or Browns are going to take Simpson before 21. Ugh. Tortilla says this, I think he goes to the Jets at 16. And at the end of the day, I'm not upset at all. I don't even want Ty Simpson.
I don't either. I'm just afraid, like, we're not going to hear his name called, and then it gets to us, and they're going to like, hey, there's our guy. We're going to go, well, let's get our quarterback.
What's up, dude? Always great seeing Kenneth on the board. Kenneth Jones says, what's up, bros? My man, always great seeing you on the board. John, dude, he says no to Cousins. And it's kind of the pickle that we're in. We know what we want, but it's just not there. We could have Aaron, or we could have Cousins, or we could roll with Mason, or we could. I mean, there's plenty of options, and nobody likes any of them basically because everybody knows what it is we need. Everybody knows what it is that this team's going to require to get back to where we would like it to be, Mike. But it's just not sitting out there, and it's almost like waiting for that perfect pitch in baseball, and then you continue to strike out because you're not swinging at pitches that aren't perfect.
Yeah.
It might be on the edge of the plate. It might be a little inside that you think is not good, and you don't swing because you're waiting. You're just waiting for your pitch to hit that home run, and it's not coming down the middle of the plate, and it hasn't been for quite a few years in that capacity as far as quarterback goes. And that's what it feels like, Mike. It just feels like we kind of keep striking out every year because we're just waiting. We're just waiting for that perfect pitch. And sometimes, I don't know, swinging the bat's going to yield you a decent production as well, or you could just stand there and continue to not swing the bat at pitches and just have things continue to go the way they're going. There's no real easy answer. I mean, the answer is simple. But coming to that answer and having it become a reality, that is where it becomes difficult, Mike. And this is just the circle that we continue to chase our tail in.
Because, right, if you don't, I know a lot of people say just go draft a quarterback. But if you don't like a quarterback, if you don't like the the way they play the game, or you don't think you can get anything out of them, I have no problem with the team going, no, we're not taking any of these quarterbacks because we don't think they're going to be good in the NFL, or they're not going to fit our system, or we can't design a system to get anything good.
What if the perfect quarterback that we're looking for isn't available for the next 18 years? What if the perfect guy that we're looking for doesn't become available for a ridiculous amount of time? Are we going to kick this can down the road for another decade to get exactly the guy that's going to fit our system, the guy that we like?
They're not looking for perfect. They're working for someone like who can fit into their system. If they don't think that Ty Simpson or Carson Beck or Nussmeier or Aller are going to be the guy that's going to get them to where they want to be, or just going to be someone who keeps continually doing what they do.
So
I have no problem. I have no problem with them going, no, we're not going to draft them.
So no Steeler team is okay with anybody that they don't think that any of these guys coming out in any draft are good enough for their system. But here we are. These guys are moving on, and Drake May's taking teams to the Super Bowl. And again, we're still sitting on our hands worrying if Aaron Rodgers is going to come back, the 43-year-old quarterback. So at the end of the day, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but at what point do you pull the trigger? So nobody has ever been good enough in the last 7 years with Kenny Pickett, obviously, but none of these other quarterbacks that came out that's going other places and doing things. Well, he's just not what we're looking for. We'll wait.
If they probably did like some of these guys, but my God, we've been drafting it in the the lower end of the draft, and these guys are going within the first 7 picks. And if you can't move up to get them, you're screwed. So what's the next thing you do? You build your team, and then you wait for a quarterback heavy class, and then you can move up and get someone, because you're probably going to like one or two guys.
So what you're saying logically, the answer will be answered next year. Because beyond that, you don't know. I mean, it could go to another bad quarterback. So if the answer doesn't come along, say teams ahead of us like the guys that we like, and it doesn't get to us, the guy that we like doesn't get there, and we don't like the guys that are left. They're not going to fit in the system. We have to continue then another year. So you see what I'm saying? It's just at some point we either have to shit or get off the pod. I don't. You hate to say it because you want the best possible person for the job, the guy. But at the end of the day, if this thing takes another 5 years, are we willing as fans to sit through these kind of situations and unidealistic quarterback situations just to get to the point where we feel that we have that guy that fits our type, fits our style, fits our system? Again, Mike, this has potential to continue to keep going. It's not guaranteed to be fixed next year because there's a quarterback draft. A lot of people are assuming, hey, let's put this team together. We'll get that quarterback next year in a strong draft and everything's going to be better. Let's say that doesn't work. Let's say we get a guy who's like Joe Burrow in a sense where the guy can't stay healthy for nothing and we can't keep him on the field, or you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying at some point, Mike, we have to take things into our own control because everything else is out of our control. We can't control who's going to be there. We can't control if somebody can stay healthy, yada, yada, yada. So again, it's just good. I just don't think that it's going to be as easy as people think that it's going to be. I think that a lot of people think that this thing's going to be fixed next year. We're going to have guys in place. We're going to have our Pittmans. We're going to have DK for a couple more years. Things are going to be in place. The offensive line is going to be strengthened. They're going to be playing together a whole nother year. They're going to be better. The defense should be better in theory. But again, at the end of the day, Mike, there's no guarantee that the answer is going to be had next year, whatever it may be. If Will Howard wins the job, if a rookie comes in, you just don't know. So again, that's my concern. I'm not bad-mouthing. I'm not criticizing anybody, or I'm just saying there's certainly potential for this to continue on a lot longer than people think that it's going to. Again, I think a lot of people assume that next year is going to be the fix-all, but that's not a guarantee, Mike, because then again, you have to give that young quarterback a year to prepare, maybe give Will Howard a year to compete. Who knows? That's all I'm saying. That's my concern. I don't know the answer. I'm not a person who claims to know everything, but I'm just saying, like, if you tend to look past the rose-colored filter, you can see that this could be a disaster if it doesn't hit next year. And again, we're waiting on a pitch. We're just waiting to hit that home run. So I think it's very it's touchy. What do you?
It is touchy. Like, finding a starting quarterback that can win you a Super Bowl is one of the hardest positions to draft in all of sports.
Wouldn't every team do it if it was?
It would be. Every team would be like, I got my guy. I'm set. It's hard. So either what you can do is to keep swinging at guys and hope you get a quarterback and keep drafting in the top 10 every year, or you can wait for someone to hit free agency the way Seattle did with Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Or you can keep building a team and then find like a serviceable quarterback that can play like a nice little point guard that's not going to go out there try and score all the points, just facilitate the offense until you can find that elite quarterback. And right now it seems like we're building a team to where we can put in that facilitator to hold it down and win us the games, get us into the playoffs, and things roll our way. That's what we're going to do until we actually find a legit franchise quarterback. That seems to be the Steelers' plan. Is we're just going to keep doing what we do, keep building teams year after year that can compete until we can find an actual quarterback that can get us over the hump. It sucks because we wake up every year knowing what the end result's going to be until it eventually changes. No, we are Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. We're living the same movie over and over and over again. We know what the result's going to be.
You might wake up
tomorrow. Till it fucking changes.
You might wake up tomorrow and hear "I Got You, Babe" on the radio.
Exactly.
Start smashing your head in immediately if that does happen. Let's go to Corey on the board. He says Cousin could come back as a backup to Howard to groom him, but that's it. He follows it up by saying, "John, Steeler Freak, quit that grumpy shit. LOL. It's a fun little discussion. We know will never happen. It's better than talking constantly about Aaron." Let me scoot up here. John says Mayfield is an example of a brown FU, in my opinion. He says they had a guy to work with, but the organization. That's what I'm saying. We didn't do that. We didn't give away a franchise quarterback. That's what I'm saying. We're not like the Browns. What I'm suggesting is Brown like. But at the end of the day, they just brown everything up. It's incredible actually to watch what goes on with them Browns, Mike. As a matter of fact, I don't want them going anywhere. When they left for 3 years in the 90s, it was a very dark time because it's good having that little brother that you could beat on constantly. It just is. Mm-hmm. There's no explanation. It just is.
Yeah, and I'm glad they're around.
Speaking of the Browns, something that Ben Roethlisberger says tongue-in-cheek yesterday while on the Debo and Joe show, Mike, he says that the Browns were contacting him for naming rights for the new stadium that they are building, the Browns. Of course, the third leading winner in the current Browns stadium, Mike. Baker Mayfield had 19 wins. Joe Flacco had 13 wins there, and Ben Roethlisberger had 12. Ben did lead the way at the current Cleveland Browns stadium for quite some time. He was the win leader right there in Cleveland, but as time went on and he retired and other players kept playing, they passed him. But tongue-in-cheek, Mike, he did say that the Browns have been in contact on naming rights for the stadium.
As they should. He is their daddy.
He sure is. Let's go. Let's see. What else do we want to do here? John, dude says this keep quit about Rodgers is them keeping the league in the dark, laughing, and that's what I'm saying. There's nothing in my mind that doesn't think he's not coming back. I'll be very surprised, Mike. Because we've been through it, so you there's a feel. It has a feel.
Yeah.
I realistically, when they told us that he would have his answer by mid-March,
get the fuck out of here.
You knew it was a push. You know that there was a chance that probably wasn't going to happen. So again, I guess for the debates and the conversations, but at the end of the day, Mike, and I always say this: if I was a gambling man, and I'm not, I would put my money on number 8 being under the center this year.
Me too. The only way, like this year, it would be like there would have been a shit ton of pressure on him. Would have been if all these quarterbacks did come out and all the ones that are in this draft now played to the expectations that they did last year. To when you're like, we got 12 picks, we're going to move up and get one of these guys. Aaron, what the fuck are you doing? Are you going to come back or are we starting one of these guys? Then the pressure would have been on. Now you kind of know, like, we're not drafting anyone in the first round or drafting anyone of consequence that's going to start this year. So, yeah, like, okay, Aaron, you got your time. Go have your fun in the sun. Go have your fun time on the McAfee show. Do whatever you want to do. And we'll be back here in the shadows doing our thing, continuing to
does this make us look like a pathetic wife?
No.
Go out and flirt with your friends, and go out to the bar and have drinks. We'll stay here and we'll sit put when you come home. That way we'll be all set for you. And you just do what you want to do, and we'll just be here waiting. Don't. It kind of has that feel. I understand it's not, but there's just something about it.
I don't get that.
Unless they know. And again, I would think that they.
I don't know. And I don't get the sentiment. Oh, people are laughing at us. Who gives a flying fuck?
No,
The
just laughing it
The
up.
Steelers are doing business. They're bringing guys in to make the team better, and we're gonna win 9 to 10 games no matter who the fuck the quarterback is. So if the rest of the league and the fan bases want to laugh at us, okay, that's no sweat off my sack.
Enjoy
Like
them
I know
6
my
rings.
team is getting better.
Here's the thing, another thing. I don't really ever care about if people talk or laugh because, again, at the end of the day, enjoy our 6 rings while
And
you're at it.
yeah, exactly. And that's always our comment. It's sports banter, man. It's fun. You want to laugh at us? Okay, I'm gonna dry my terrible
that's the
tale
thing,
while I look
like,
at our Super Bowls.
they earned it. And the thing people always go, well, that's so old. That's from the it doesn't matter. They earned it. There's been 60 Super Bowls and they won 6 of them.
Yeah.
So 10% of every Super Bowl played, we won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while since we won one, but my God, finally, I'll go look at like franchises that have the most wins in the last 15 years. Oh, there's my team. We're up there.
And
Where's your team? All the way down at the bottom where
and
you
nobody ever wants
always
to
are.
talk shit on them Cowboys, Mike, a team that hasn't even been to a championship game
Right?
in 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years
Like,
this
is how
past
you
January.
know, like it's how a franchise dominates the psyche of a lot of other fan bases is that they always want to attack us, but like, oh, it's just the Cowboys. We'll just laugh at them. But the Steelers, they get heated. They get heated about the Steelers.
That's what happens when you're the best. Mike,
Exactly.
Speaking of Pat McAfee, he will. Pat McAfee's show will also be at the draft as well. Guys, this event is going to be huge. The announcement was made. The PMS is going to be down there. So much stuff is going to be there, Mike. ESPN. I mean, you can imagine. Again, just 29 days. What is the Pittsburgh Steelers going to do with their home draft, with their 12 picks, with their no quarterback having ass? What is the Steelers going to pull off 29 days from now? I don't know, but we will certainly be down there. We'll be down there with Duquesne Pilsner enjoying the time. Like, it's going to be great times. 29 days away. Let's jump back here where Yinzer Joe says we did have O'Donnell take us to the big game. O'Donnell had potential to be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Everything that he did, everything moved progressively in the right direction the years he was there. Every year we were 3 yards away from the Super Bowl prior to the year that we went and played Dallas. And then again, he doesn't throw those two passes, which is very questionable. He could have been very easily been our franchise quarterback. He was playing well enough. He knew how to throw the ball. He get the ball downfield, Mike, way better than anybody between Bradshaw and Neil O'Donnell. He was head and shoulders better than the Malones, the Bristers, the Stroms, the Blackledges. I mean, you know the list.
Oh yeah, it was a who's who of struggle bus quarterbacks there, and he was really damn good. He wasn't at the Steve Young, Troy Aikman type level, but he was probably in that tier down. He was playing some really good football, and it just sucks those 2 interceptions because if we lose that game and he doesn't throw those interceptions and we bring him back, we probably would have went on a nice little run, going back to a couple more Super Bowls. He was a really good quarterback.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. I remember like him a lot because
I loved him, man.
He was the first quarterback that was moving us in the right direction when I was a kid. Like I said, all those other names were the guys I grew up with as a younger kid. And then when I was a senior in high school when that Super Bowl happened. And you couldn't say anything bad to me about Neil O'Donnell prior to that game. You know what I mean? Prior to those 2 interceptions, I would have told you, as Mark Malone saying on the board, even Mark Malone says that Neil O'Donnell was good. Let me go back on the board here, guys. Great to see everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the terrible board. Let's go to where are we going? Right here. John Steeler Freak says 25. Stay in your lane. He says, this is my advice to you. I give you my opinion and don't care if you like it. On the board, let's scoot up a little bit here, Mike. Let's see what Just Learning says. Just Learning says this. Who knows how all those other quarterbacks, Russell, Trubisky, etc., would have done without Arba. And that's another point. That's another good point. You're right. You're not wrong. Just Learning. Let's scoot up here to. He follows it up by saying Rodgers doesn't even have a wife. With this guy, you don't know. You know what I mean? What the hell's going on with him? Like,
does he have a wife? Does he not have is it an AI wife? Was it a wife from an ayahuasca trip that he hallucinated? We do not know. And that's the kind of guy I want as my franchise quarterback. Well, you never know what the fuck he's going to do, but at least we know where he is going to look.
I just listen.
We can have this guy.
Oh hell no!
Oh, hell no.
Any chance to keep my Carson Beck streak alive.
Let's do Sco right here where Mark Malone says Rodgers turned in a good year last year. Imagine what he'll do with more than one receiver. I know. I know. I feel that way too. Another year of the line together. Maybe, you get something nice in the draft, fix the left side of that line. Now you got more than one receiver. Now you got a different coordinator. I mean, he could have an amazing season. So I know, Mark, you're right. That's the way I think as well. I just we don't know. We don't know. John says this. He says Steeler Freak says, and again, the Seahawks would have had Rodgers' ass. It just isn't just about weapons or protection or schemes. He can't move and won't take the hit. And which is a stupid thing because again, you broke your wrist, bro. You're a football player. You literally broke your wrist. At this point, just take the freaking hits. I mean, like, come on. What are you doing? What are you conserving yourself for? You're 43. You're literally putting yourself at risk going out there and playing with these 25-year-olds, world-class athletes, the fastest, the strongest, the biggest that we have. I mean, you're taking the risk. Just take the freaking hit. If you're going to play, you see what I'm saying? And it isn't. And two, Mike, you broke your wrist last year. That's a big injury. You know what? If a guy freaking hits you, so what? And if that's a problem to you, then don't play.
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it. I mean, you are 43. You are 43. And again, I always say, Mike, it's a lot closer to 30 or a lot closer to 50 than it is to 30 in a league where 30 is an old player. So, but at the end of the day, I don't think Mark Malone's wrong. And John, you're not wrong either. So again, we will see. We will see. But again, Mike, I can't even imagine him not being back this year. But there's not many more times I can say that it doesn't matter because until they announce it, we're still in the dark. Joe says this, we're going to find out how bad it can be if Rodgers doesn't return. He says this, Mike, he says, problem is if he returns, what's our record? 10 wins. Even without Tomlin, we get that or worse, better. Can we win a playoff game? I don't even know. They're all good questions. That's why this year is going to be very interesting. It's been a long time since we've had to do this, Mike, with different head coaches and just there's a lot about this year that's going to be different, and it's the turning of the page. It's the beginning of the new era. Welcome to Steelers now and moving forward, Mike. This is it. This is the team.
Yeah, this team, so far in the offseason, we have seen the team building philosophy has still remained the same. Filling in the holes that we need. Now, I think the draft is going to be the same thing. The team's going to. The front office is going to keep doing what they've been doing to build this team. Now, once we get into training camp, that's when we're going to see what kind of changes are we truly going to see from the head coach. From right now, player personnel, it's kind of the guys that we have been looking for, that we've needed. We got them this year. Now, how's McCarthy going to utilize them on the offense, and how's Graham going to utilize them on the defense? That's where we're going to see if it's going to be a night and day difference from what we've seen in the past 18 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, we learn a lot. We're going to learn a lot about our football team, guys. You know what? That's what we love, though. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. It's all good, man. It's all good. I think we're going to be just fine. Let's move forward on the board here a little bit. Mark Malone says that's why we need Beck, Haller, Robertson. Let's scoot up here to where John Steeler Freak says this. Good or bad depends on the beholder. There are folks here who think last year was a success. You're right. You're right. And, I guess at 10-7 in a playoff appearance, that's somewhat of a success. But I just think as, diehard long-term Steeler fans, you've been through it. You've been through the bads. You've been through the goods. You've seen the uglies, and we know where we want to be. We know what it's going to take to get there. So, at the end of the day, I guess it was a success, but it's just not the success that we're looking for as Steeler fans. Mark Malone says all of the guys have tossed the rock like a mofo at big schools and big games. Of course, talking about Beck, Aller, and Robertson. Just Learning says this AFC was weak last year. The cheating Patriots took advantage. You know what? Them mother
goddamn cheaters.
How many freaking Super Bowls can they be in? We got to come on. We have to rebound because they're already on their next round. They've won 6, and now they're heading back.
Hey.
Well, before you hate me, it took us 100 years to get our 6th.
I know.
They got their 6th in 20 years, and now they're already back trying to get more. This has
But
to
Drake May lost the Super Bowl. So far, only Hurts is the only quarterback to lose his first one and go back and win. I don't see Drake May continuing in that Hurts footsteps. I think Hurts was the outlier. I think Drake May is going to be like every other quarterback that has lost their first Super Bowl, never won one since.
See, this is where I disagree with you. I think the Patriots have a great franchise and a great organization, and I think they're going to land on their feet, whether it be by May or whoever might come down the pike. I just think that because back whenever the Patriots won the first Super Bowl, back against the Rams, it was okay. This is fun. New team. They never won a Super Bowl, and then they beat the Carolina Panthers. It's like, okay, 2 years, 2 Super Bowls, and then 2 years later they get their third one against Philadelphia, and it was like, all right, 3 out of 4. That's getting awfully Steeler-like. We did 4 out of 6, and then they just kept winning, and that's the thing about a good organization like New England. I wouldn't rule them out, Mike, because even when they're not good, they're still competitive. They still find ways to win lots of football games. They still find ways to fall ass backward into the Super Bowl like they did last year. We have to keep up with the Joneses in that sense. The Patriots, they've been to like 100 Super Bowls. There's been 60 of them, and they've been to like 100 of them. I can't figure this out.
They have a great They had a great cheating apparatus for 20 years. They were able to operate.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying. I don't know. Here's the thing. Everybody cheats to some capacity. They do. Everybody looks for every little advantage you could use, and some things is cutting the corners. And I couldn't even imagine, like, there's 31 other teams that everybody's as ethical as can be. And with them Patriots, they find a way to cheat. It's just because they win. That's why they catch all the crap, I think. I'm not saying they don't cheat because they were involved. But again, like, to think that the Patriots are the only team that cheated in the past 60 years is unbelievable to me. But it's fun. It's easy to do because they win a lot. That's what you do when there's a team that's got that target on their back. If you can't beat them, make things up about them. I don't know. Maybe we're just not doing enough to win it. The teams that are in there. The teams that aren't. So just learning. I'm sorry, just learning. That was just learning said that. Also, dude says this, ready to go 2-15 with Howard just to find out. Or it could go 12-5. Yeah, we don't know. That's what the finding out would be, I guess, right?
10-7, baby. 10-7, no matter who's in there.
Joe says this, Mike. He says Sam Darnold was sacked 48 times last year playing in Minnesota with a 14-win record, only sacked 27 times in Seattle. With the same record, Rodgers was sacked 29 times last year and won the division. Also, Steeler Freak says this will be 18 years since the Steelers won the Super Bowl. What? It is oh my God. When you say it like that, hold on, let me start over. I might have to go wipe my ass. I'm gonna go wipe myself after hearing that. Hold on, let me jump back in here. John says this, it'll be 18 years since the Steelers won the Super Bowl, which causes many fans to adjust expectations. Rodgers winning a playoff game means nothing. Ultimately, yes. I mean, in the big picture, it wasn't a success. But again, we've only had 6 successful seasons if you're going by that standard.
Exactly. Like, if you take an honest look at the roster and set real expectations of what that team can and should achieve, then yeah, not winning a Super Bowl for some teams is a success because, oh my God, they outperformed expectations or they performed the way you do. That's like saying, oh, this movie sucked because it didn't win an Oscar, therefore it sucks. No, it could be good. It just wasn't as good as another movie. So to say the Steelers season like wasn't a success is kind of a head scratcher to me because they did as well as the roster that they had out there. Like, yes, this is what we expected them to do. They met that goal. That's a success. They won the division. Now that was a successful season based on the roster that we had. I did not think this team was going to win a Super Bowl.
That's a realistic
expectation.
Was the New England Patriots, was their season a success?
Yeah, they way outperformed expectations.
I would agree. Was the Denver Broncos season a success?
Yeah, they way outperformed expectations.
I would agree. And that's what I'm saying. It just, it just depends on, like how you said earlier, John, it just depends on the way you look at it. Because again, at the end of the day, if you go by that standard, you've only had 6 successful seasons, but it's a different standard. people that don't have Super Bowls didn't have them as many successful seasons as we did. But again, if you're moving in the right direction, it's all in the eye of the beholder. It really is when it comes down to deciding if a season was successful. I think that we could all say we understand when the Browns, they don't have successful seasons. That's cut and dry. We know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's again, as Neil O'Donnell was improving every year, you could have said, you know what, they fell 3 yards short of the Super Bowl. That was not a success. They failed.
Yeah.
How could a failure be a success? But at the end of the day, it got them one step closer, and they kept building on that and got back to the big game. So it comes down to the person. I think that's
the Chiefs season was obviously not a success. That was a failure. The Eagles trying to get back-to-back Super Bowls, that their season was a failure. But there are other teams that lost in the playoffs that was a successful season for them because they beat expectations or met them of what of a realistic expectation is. And the Patriots well overshot where they should have been.
Let's go right here to RB. RB says, just curious, do people understand it, at any point last year, if you would have pushed Howard to the practice squad, he would have cleared waivers. Sorry, 31 other teams agree that he has about a 5% chance. Let's scoot right here to RB. Following that up, 5% chance of being a starter. And 27 of those 31 were much better quarterback evaluators than Mike Tomlin and his crew of flunkies. Right here, stats and tape. John is saying stats and tape. Also, Yinzer Joe says, anybody have different feeling on Carr? Can he still play? I don't hate Carr. I think that he would certainly be a quarterback in a pinch. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I think he's probably better than Mason, but probably not as good as Aaron Rodgers. I think he falls somewhere kind of in that area. Average quarterback at best. Maybe his better days are behind him.
His better days are way behind him, and I've never been a fan of Carr. He's just, he can put up numbers, but in crunch time, he crumbles. He has games where he sees ghosts, and you don't want that if you're trying to get better. I've just never been a Derek Carr fan. Never thought he was any good. And when the brights got light, he would always crumble.
And then brights got light. Let's do
you know what I mean.
You know what? I don't. I'm just teasing. Let's go to RB. He says this: we were looking to draft a guy who will lead to a dynasty, not just throw money to a 1-year 2 run and tear it down. I have 0 issues with the 12 years of the 8-8, 9-8. I had issues that seemed to be the goal. Let's do scoot up here. John says the Ohio State Huggers just want Howard at all costs. Again, Rooney hired Mike McCarthy. He isn't starting Howard. Corey says this: I only credit to Cleveland for one thing and one thing only. I do too, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let me get back to it. He says this: at least they keep trying to draft their guy and taking chances. They're terrible at it, but they keep trying new shit to see what sticks. Definitely a lot of shit up there. Let's go. RB says there was no sign of wanting to improve on that 9-8, but I'd much rather have that than 2 AFC playoff pushes and then be bad for 5 years and then repeat. RB follows it up by saying this. He says that Yinzer Joe Carr sucked in his last 2 years before the injury, and I never seen a guy miss 2 film sessions and come back not much worse than that before. Aaron J, there it is, Mike. Here we go. Steelers with the Rockets.
Go, baby.
I know now, Mike, that my hump day is well underway because Aaron.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
Because I know when Aaron does put up that comment, Mike, I always know that is going to make the day good. Always great seeing Aaron Jade on the terrible board. As always, my man. John says this: is Steeler Freak 79-80. 16 years between Super Bowls, currently 17 years and counting. My 19-year-old son was 2. Hey, you know what? When you put it that way, 79-80 to 95 would be 16 years. We are currently 17 years removed from our last Super Bowl win. Yeah. Mark Malone. Beck.
No.
Steeler Freak says this: the other hasn't found the Steelers serious for a long time. The team isn't feared. I don't like that, but it is true. You know what? Yeah. You know. Let's go right here. Mark Malone, he says O'Donnell was good for sure. Follows it up by saying Maddox was good until he got paralyzed. Yeah, you remember that. And he was another one. He kind of fell in that category. We were just so desperate for a quarterback. Cordell, we ran that course again. You know, he came so close a lot of time. Was his tenure a success? You know, he didn't win the Super Bowl. He didn't get to the Super Bowl.
No.
There was a losing season or two, and so
it was middle of the road.
Yeah,
because that style of quarterback, he was, you know, like too early. You know,
I mean, if he was too early, Randall Cunningham was
way early too. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
and like still wanting him to be like your typical 5 to 7 drop back quarterback in that era, the way everyone else was, maybe kind of limited what we could have done then. But it was a middle of the road. Like there were some successful seasons, but there, like you said, there were a couple others that were not. So it was a middle of the road quarterback tenure here.
Mark Malone says Flugger was never comfortable after that. No, man, I remember that. He got paralyzed against Tennessee. The guy got paralyzed a lot. He got got hurt a lot. He got paralyzed against Tennessee, and then you know the injury that allowed Ben against Baltimore.
But then he would come right back though.
Yeah,
dude was tough. I give him that.
RB says that Mike McCarthy, boy, Maddox was the bug. At Eminem, Mark Malone, gotcha. Let's see. RB says this. He says biggest injury affected his head guy I've seen in my life. Follows it up by saying he would fold like a lawn chair. A hint of pressure after that. It was bad. Mark Malone says F. It would be me too. RB. John says this. Steeler for Jerry Jones and Art Rooney are the same. One is aggressive and has a big mouth. The other is passive and keeps his mouth shut, but does what he wants for the sake of competitive cash. Somber says from 10-7 to 11-6. Woohoo! Let's go. But I would take point taken, Somber, and I do want to say what's up to you. But I would take 10-7 over a 9-8. You know what I mean? It's a step in the right direction. A step in the right direction. You got to crawl before you walk sometime, and that just kind of seems to might be where we're at this point. Dude says this Roger under center less this year. Let's go to Tater.
Tater's here.
What's up, Tater? Always great seeing Tater on the terrible board. Tater, how you doing? He says this worst organization in pro football. As a matter of fact,
we were just talking about the Browns.
I was just in the middle of the sentence. Let me finish my sentence. I said, Mike, Steelers offseason was named the NFL's best. That's something I got in my notes here, Mike. The Steelers offseason is named the best offseason in the NFL this year. So if you're talking about a team looking to improve, nobody improved as much and as good as the Steelers, according to what we know right now. Again, we'll see when that step on the field as last year. You bring in Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf and Jonnu Smith and Slay and Aaron Rodgers. We thought, hey, we're going to be rocking and rolling, but we certainly will see, as we've learned in the past. Yinzer Joe says the Cleveland Clowns. There they are, the Cleveland Clowns, everybody. Let's scoot along here. Welcome to the show, Tater. Nonetheless, RB says this Art Rooney. And just in case anybody doesn't know, I just have to fill you in. Tater is a Browns fan from Northern Ireland. A Browns fan from Northern Ireland. Try to figure that one out. Art Rooney rarely does anything besides sign checks. Art barely talks or even goes to games. You can't go a week without Jerry. Jerry is the GM, or Rooney is the polar opposite as Jerry Jones. And that's, you never not see Jerry Jones down there on the sideline walking around getting in people's way. RB says this. He follows up by saying, dude, I'd say under center much more. He rarely went under center last year. That's true, especially after he broke that hand, the wrist.
Yeah, he more under center. The less shotgun snaps I have to see out of Zach Frazier, the better.
Yeah, I mean that needs to get better, but let's go.
He's gotten better from last year, from rookie year to last year, but it's still worrisome for me.
John says this folding like a lawn chair becomes an automatic human process when 5 guys over 300 pounds are chasing you like their mother, like you killed their mother. Tater says facts are facts. Facts are we have 6 Super Bowls. The facts are Cleveland Browns never been to a Super Bowl. The facts are the Browns haven't won the division since 1988. How come you ignore the important facts and talk about the dumb stuff? The stuff that listen, facts are things that are facts. Opinions are what Tater's doing. Because again, the Steelers are one of the best franchises, obviously, in all of major sports. And for Tater to say otherwise, that's not a fact. But all the facts that I bring, Tater doesn't talk about. Like the Browns never winning a Super Bowl, the Browns never finishing in the first place. You know what I mean?
It's like Tater's trying to reframe the debate.
I know.
He's that guy. He's like, he'll disregard what you say and then bring up a new fact. Like, no. You still got to address what was brought up.
Steeler Freak says this. He says, and you were 43 years old. Also, let me go back to see what his last one was here. Just might have all went together. Folding like a chair. Oh, there you are. Yeah, and you're 43 years old. Or you could have your own guy tackle you. I mean, come on. It doesn't even have to be the guys from the other team. Let's go.
You got to keep your head on the swivel out there, Rogers.
RB says the Steelers are not being feared was a coaching staff thing. Tomlin was the GM for 10 years. Tomlin was a Jimmy and a Joe's guy, not an X and an O's. Mike didn't care if a guy fit or didn't. He just liked them. That's interesting. That's an interesting take. Yinzer Joe says this to follow up. He goes, Rodgers wasn't the issue. Like I was saying earlier, Darnold was sacked 27 times in the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl because he had weapons. Rodgers was sacked 29 times and had one wide receiver, and a running back was his leading wide receiver. I mean, obviously things are off. There's, no way that a lot of the things should even been going the way that they're going. For the Steelers, Kenneth, my man, he says this. I think Rodgers is the Will Howard safety net backup plan. Nothing else makes sense. Always great talking to Kenneth. John says, RB, time will tell. He says they need to feed them gunpowder in the cafeteria if that's what it takes.
There you go, boys. Let's go. Some gunpowder.
Well, you know what, Tater? But when you do have that target on your back, when you have the best, of course you start to we're entitled, because you want to know why? Nobody has more Super Bowls than us. And until that changes, we have the bragging rights. This team earned it. It doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago. As long as it was in the Super Bowl era, nobody's better than us. And until that point, we have those bragging rights. That's kind of how American sports is. Let's do a move up there.
I was gonna say, our rough patch right now,
right,
is what rough patch Browns fans aspire to reach.
Browns organization is a rough patch. The whole history of that team is a rough patch. Let's see, Yinzer Joe. RB says this at Yinzer Joe and coaching staff who was more worried about non-turning it over than scoring points. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. The Patriots aren't going to have the benefit of the schedule to help them this season. I see them falling. I mean, they got the first place schedule. We have a first place schedule as well. But we are fortunate, Mike. We do have the AFC South and the NFC South, the 2 weaker divisions in the league. And again, the Eagles, the Broncos, the Patriots, in our division, in the 2 South divisions. So I think we have a generally easy schedule. All things considered. Let's go to, and I do want to get into some more stuff here. RB says, I watch a ton of film on guys I really like, but I know they are not a good fit scheme or culture or both, and I could get that stuff. Tomlin didn't care. Tortilla says Tater shits his pants at bingo. Tortilla, you got to at least get a partial game ball for that.
That is great.
That was so random and out in left field and just out of the blue. Tater, you got a game ball. John says this fake May will be exposed. Mike, I agree. Also, dude says this does not make it okay. Real punishments when you get caught cheating. Oh, I see what you're saying. But again, if I meet one team that doesn't cheat in some way, shape, or form, I think that you'd be hard pressed to find. Again, you're always looking for a competitive edge. Always, no matter who you are. If you're the Astros in baseball, if you're the Patriots in football, if you're an NBA team that puts an all-star team together, so even if it's not ethical, people might even say it's cheating. It's sports, unfortunately. You're not gonna win the Super Bowl with a bunch of choir boys, and it's not because they're not physical enough. It's sometimes you have to do what you got to do to get the job done, to be the best. You got to step on throats. Let's go to right here where RB says Tater don't play bingo. He's the MVP of the Pub Butt Dart League. The Pub Butt Dart League.
That's a good one.
That is really good. I wish I had a button for some kind of butt darts, but I don't, Mike. Unfortunately, I'm kind of upset about that. Let's do scoot forward though a little bit. That was good. Joe says, but the real question is, how long has it been since the Cleveland Browns won a Super Bowl? I don't know. While we're talking facts, Tater, why don't you start adding up all those Super Bowls? I think it's probably going to take you a while, so just start adding. We'll ask you again when you got it all figured out. Let's do scoot up here to Dude says winning a playoff game was an attainable goal. A good place to start. Speaking of winning playoff games or the lack thereof, guys, let's touch and get into a couple new areas, Mike, as we're just kind of at that time of the show. I'm going to bring a few new things up. I certainly should have brought this up earlier, but this isn't huge Pittsburgh Steelers news, but it's big news, guys. Mike Tomlin testing the TV markets. The big news coming out yesterday was Mike Tomlin. He signed with longtime sports media agent Sandy Montags. Mike, she is an agent, and Mike Tomlin is looking to get into TV, as many people thought that he would. I don't think there's any surprises there. I don't think that there's even any surprises of how quick it became. I just got to say, Mike, I can't wait to hear him in his Tomlinisms on national TV, because we got to enjoy them here in Pittsburgh for the Mike Tomlin press conference every Tuesday for decades. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for the rest of the world to get a hold of these, Mike. They're going to be on Saturday Night Live doing Mike Tomlin skits. If he continues to be himself and be genuine and talk and do the things the way he did when he was here, this is going to be a lot of fun being out on that tier, on that platform.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. And I think he's like one of the programs like either fired or did not renew Tony Dungy's contract, and that's the rumor, is that Tomlin's going to be the one to fill in that role. So I can't remember if that was like the Friday night, the Sunday night show on one of the networks, or Thursday night or Sunday night, but yeah, it won't surprise me if he's going to be on one of those shows, and probably one of the primetime shows.
And it's going to be fun. And again, I don't. I like the person. I just didn't like the job he was doing at coaching our team. Like, I'll enjoy him again. I just think if he continues to stay genuine, like I hope that he does, I think he could be a lot of fun. And again, you pull them Tomlinisms out on national TV, it will certainly gain a lot more momentum than it did having your weekly press conference here on the Pittsburgh Sports Channel in Western PA. So that is also, Mike, a big thing going on. Pittsburgh, former Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin, getting hooked up with an agent to get into some testing the TV market waters a little bit. I wish him well, as I did every step of the way. Hope things go the best for him, and hope it's a great success for Coach T. Go do your thing, Mike. Coach T and Coach C. Having both of those guys in the media is going to be really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very fun. Maybe they can be on the same show.
You never know. You never know, man. That could be really cool. People like Tater Tard's head would blow clean off their shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I'm not concerned about that kind of stuff. So
neither am I. I'm actually looking forward to that.
I'm going to pay money to see that. Let's get into some stuff here, Mike. I do have a bunch of different topics I want to get into. Again, hey, all right, let me get back here. Let's talk about these things. Of course, we did talk earlier about Omar Khan expecting to attend the Ohio State Pro Day. That is today. Like, all kind of talent over there at Ohio State. Good chances we're not going to get any of their high talent. Of course, those teams are good. Guys are going to go to bad teams in the first round. But one thing that I do want to say, Mike, I'm looking at this picture. I don't have it in front of me, but of Ryan Day and Artie Smith. Tell me that doesn't look like a set of Dick Tracy villains. Think of what Ryan Day's face looks like. And think of Artie Smith. They just look like, you remember Dick Tracy? You remember the villains like Mr.
Mhm.
Mr. Mumbles? And
Yeah, I can only imagine what those two were talking about. It had to be a, hey, Dad, can we recruit 17 tight ends?
right.
The more tight ends, the better. I know we were wide receiver you, but we're going to be tight end you from now on.
Ryan Day's he's really creepy looking. I don't know if
Yes,
it's his
he is.
eyes. And then Arthur Smith, he has no chin. So it's like they just
He
look like
has
they
no
look,
chin.
they look
He
like
doesn't.
Dick
He looks like
Cheney,
that the
Dick
random
Tracy.
generated Madden guy.
Mike, and that was before he came here. That was your argument. He said he looks like one of the random made coaches on Madden, where you could just randomly take the computer thing and place it on the screen, and that's what he looked like. He looked exactly like that, Mike. Arthur Smith and Ryan Day, Ohio State. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Wouldn't you shit if Ohio State loses like 4 games this year?
Oh, I would fucking laugh my ass off. I mean, I just don't get I don't get what they were doing there. I'm at a complete loss.
And I want it to go as bad as it possibly can.
Oh, me too. Because I know it's going to piss Derby off
Yeah.
so fucking much. It's going to be great.
Yes. What else do we got, Mike? That pretty much wraps up all of that information. Chop did, Mike, I was talking to Chop a little bit. He's very excited. He's excited about Brock Hoffman. I know that you and RB kind of, you can have what you said about him. For what reason, though? I don't know. Chop is very excited about Brock Hoffman.
I know. I was reading that in the group chat. I'm like, I hope I'm wrong.
I want to be encouraged by that, but I don't know what to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, for me, he's just another nasty Nate Herbig, a guy who has an attitude but didn't play. Like, right. Okay, I don't see it. He didn't play a whole lot down in Dallas. For me, he's a nice guy to have to fill in. Like, I'm hoping that this does not mean we're not going to draft someone like Vega or Pregnon or Duggars or Basantis out of Texas A&M, I think that's where he's from. Like one of those guys to be the long-term solution. Because this guy's not a long-term solution. I think he's better than Anderson, but I don't think he's gonna be better than any of the rookies we can get. I like his intensity. You watch his film, you watch him play. Dude's a baller. I like it. I just don't think the ability matches the demeanor. He makes up for it more in power and aggression than skill and technique.
I do want to say welcome to my man Jamal, Black Magic 7777. Always great seeing you on the board, brother. Hope things are going good for you. Let's get back to a couple of these topics here, Mike. Right here, Ray Fittipaldo. I often refer to Ray. I think he's a pretty good source most of the time. Ray says this, Mike: Caleb Johnson is in no danger of getting cut, but Steelers may want to move on if he disappoints in 2026. I'm so mixed on Caleb for a couple of reasons. For one, I kind of over projected him. I thought he was going to be better than what he was. So that was my first disappointment. 2, he showed me that he wasn't living up to that with just, again, there was the speed burst. Like I was expecting to see something, on those kickoffs. It was just very minimal. Yes, he ran straight into the back of his blockers, left a lot to be desired. And then he makes a mistake in the second game of his rookie season. And a ball hits off of him, and he doesn't recover. And the other team scores a touchdown. The team beat us by 2 touchdowns anyway and went on to win a Super Bowl. So I'm not going to sit around and say, oh, that bad plays would cost us a game and stopped us from being 11-6. But at the end of the day, then I started to think, wow, that's shitty. I mean, the guy made a mistake. Who doesn't make mistakes? So I'm is okay. So then fast forward. Now they bring in Travis Homer. He's a running back, albeit he's a special teams guy, but so is Caleb Johnson. So now I don't know what the hell to think. I mean, they loaded up the room, so he's that's by default going to bring his numbers down a little bit. And on top of that, so I don't know, Mike. I just don't know what to make of Caleb Johnson. We have a couple guys on this team right now in that category. I think Roman Wilson certainly falls in that category as well. I don't know what the hell to think. And Caleb Johnson as well, Mike. Is the new coaching staff going to be a difference for these second-year players, or or is it just going to continue to be a bizarre ride again for Caleb and Roman?
It's new coaching staff. Like I've been saying, man, it's a lot of these guys that are on the bubble. It's now their time to prove to this new coaching staff that, hey, what you saw last year wasn't who I am. Like I can be something for you, and they have to prove it. If not, like
Mike,
these coaches have no relationship with these guys. They'll be like, hey, you're not doing your job. Boom, you're gone. I didn't draft you, and you go ahead and get the hell out of here.
Not prove it. Not prove it as a rookie. I mean, each one of these guys made one mistake.
Yeah.
Caleb let the ball bounce off him, and it got recovered for a touchdown. And Roman Wilson, near the end of the season, after making no mistakes, he fumbles the ball. He goes to jump over a guy, it squirts out of his hand, and he fumbles. So, are rookies not allowed a rookie mistake? Or is this something deeper, Mike? Is this something that goes to practice? Is this the playbook, as we were talking about for Roman Wilson? Is there other things for Caleb? Do they see maybe this guy doesn't have that burst? What is the deal? I mean, come on. Everyone is wondering these questions. And as Ray is saying, Mike, he says he's not in danger, because I agree he's not in danger this year for getting cut. But if he disappoints, the word that verbatim that Ray uses, what did you do to help this kid? What did you do? What do you know that we don't know, that he is such a you see what I'm saying? What is it that we're not understanding about Caleb?
It's gotta be, I don't know, maybe I don't know. I don't know if it's just his skill sets did not transfer over into the NFL. He looked really, really slow last year, but on film he looked quick in college. But it's a quantum leap from college to pros. So maybe it's that 40 time and that 10-yard split actually reflected his actual ability. And what you saw on tape was just him playing against guys that were not going to make it to the NFL. And it could be a scheme fit too, or personality fit, a who knows what fit, but it just did not work out last year. And I normally, I don't want to get rid of him right away, but new coaching staff, man, they're going to take a look at him in training camp, OTAs and all that stuff, and he could be in danger of not making the roster.
Yeah, and it's insane, because again, it's you just don't know what to think. And Roman again. So we're again, as we continue to learn like all these new things about this team, these are just a couple more things that we're going to learn. And certainly under new coaching staff, if the results are the same, what that says, and if the results are different with especially these two players, I think that ultimately shows you as well. Mike, finally on my notes, last thing, we're going to get back to the board for the duration. Former Steelers quarterback coach Mike Sullivan being hired by the Las Vegas quarterback coach to help the development of, assuming that it's Fernando Mendoza, Mike Sullivan. Mike, the Raiders, they just won't stop grabbing people. It seems like, again, a couple teams that I've seen all offseason to put in a lot of work, being the Raiders one, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And there was somebody else too, right off the top of my head. I can't remember who it is, but there was another team that was along these lines as well. Mike, very, very interested to see what the Raiders can do. Yeah. Again, they certainly didn't sit on their hands this offseason.
No, they were very active, and I don't know if it was a better run organization, I would be much higher on their future. But the Raiders, they're one of those teams where I'm not going to believe it until I see it. I like some of the moves that they did. I've liked the players they drafted in the past couple of years. Can they put it all together? That's the thing.
Teams like that, they usually struggle to do that, Mike, even no matter what they got. It's just crazy. It's crazy. There's just good franchises, and there's just franchises that are bad. And unfortunately for teams like Cleveland and in Las Vegas, they understand that. Let's jump back on the board here, guys. Let's go to Steeler Freak, where he says Rooney allowed Tomlin sins because of the no losing record. It shows more and more now. RB says, like the Pickens thing, the entire league knew he was a headache and prima donna. Tomlin didn't care. Come here, do what you want. Just give me 9 wins and put up numbers. Steeler Freak says the Killer B window was their time. I would have loved to seen that team do better for sure. Let's scoot up here. Right here to Somber. Somber says Alabama's Pro Day is underway. For your information, everyone's favorite is slinging it around.
Ty Simpson, baby.
There you go. Hi. Tater says tortilla use hit bingo in their 70s with the with year draft class apart from what?
What is did Tater have a stroke typing that out?
I I have to move on. My eyes cross when I try to read Taters sometimes. Tortilla says I was negative 28 in the 70s. My bad, Tater. I should have known by that age that the Browns still sucked. Corey says this. Don't drink that. I'd take 9 and 8 if it was with Howard. That would tell me that maybe Howard can be the guy if that's his first season under center. Of course, a winning record. But you know what? At the end of the day, Kenny had winning records too. So.
Yeah, right.
Well, hold on. let me continue. But point taken. He says this. Howard could be the guy that is, if his first season under center, then promising, but 9 and 8 with Rodgers. No, thank you. That's nothing. You're right. If Rodgers is in there, I expect more wins. Obviously, you know what I mean. RB says this: the best season move of our number 1 ranked off season was losing Mike T, and that is, guys, the Steelers off season named the NFL's best. Nobody had a better off season, and again, it's encouraging. That's an encouraging thing to know. Let's go to right here. John Steeler Freak says this: I was past angry when the Killer Bees played because I knew that was their window, and it could be a long time until they hit pay dirt. Until hit pay further again. The 2017 Jaguars loss crushed the team. I know all them Jaguars losses in January were so annoying. They were all so close, and they were all games that we should have won or could have won. Even that one that got to like 44-41 that we were getting killed all game. You know, we were still in that.
That was the Leonard Fournette running all over Stewart, Hayward, and Hargraves.
Yeah.
And that was the game that sold me of my hatred of Cam Hayward, because after it was not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. We did everything wrong.
See, this is how retarded Tater is. He says this: the Raiders have an elite stadium, and so will the Browns, while the piss pukers play on a. Dude, nobody cares. See, that's the thing about American football. It's not meant to be played in nice stadiums and domes. It's a physical sport, and the mud and the dirt and the pain and the blood and the. I just think that's the disconnect between Tater and I don't know.
That's the thing. Tater doesn't live in the rational world.
I know. Let's scoot up here a little bit. I know I was somewhere around here. Sacking yourself is crazy though. Tortilla says this: Tater works at a wiener schnitzel. Tater works at a wiener schnitzel. Mark Malone says the car bomber. We did get Tater's comment there. We're gonna just jump over that pile of shit. Let's go right here. John says, RB, I think the booze and the rich folks buying Fire Tomlin billboard signs in Pittsburgh were going to get worse, and Tomlin knew it. The sad thing is he had to walk, or it wasn't even the rich people. It was middle-class people that have Steeler apps. They were putting things up on Fire Tomlin billboards and everything else. Again, it was pretty insane. But again, you know, you felt the time. You felt it. I felt the time was coming, and I'm not saying anything else. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. It was just time. Steeler Freak says this: I believe art has to go for real change, is what John is saying. Georgianne, she says, Ryan and Vanilla, how you doing? Great to see you, Georgianne. Hope things are going well. Always great seeing Georgianne on the terrible board. The draft, Georgianne, just 29 days away.
Can't wait.
Ninja Joe, Browns don't have enough rough patches anymore. They have shit skids and stains. Yeah, they're not there. Yeah, we said their organization was a rough patch. They're a shit stain. That organization is one big shit stain. Let's go right here. John says, good point, Ryan. Broderick Jones tackling Rodgers reminded me of Lenny from Mice and Men. Can I tend to the rabbits, George? Can I tend to the rabbits? And George shot him in the fucking head.
Oh. Maybe Rodgers paid that guy from the Bears to jack up Broderick Jones's neck.
Maybe. Let's go right here to Corey. Says Tater talks like Fat Bully using a burner account. Maybe he
Maybe
is.
he is. Maybe
Maybe this is what's
that little,
going on all the time. See, Steeler Freak says, I disagree, Ryan. I am. I apologize. If I don't know what exactly you're referring to, and if I was wrong, I apologize to you, John. I swear to you. Tater says this: taking winning playoff games and they don't winning playoff games and they don't have a quarter, bruh. All right, let's scoot on here. John says this: I think the Pats' 6 Super Bowls are more impressive. That is why the Steelers need 7. It's impressive in its own way. I agree with you, John, in a sense, but just in the sense of the history of the 60 Super Bowls, the Super Bowl era, I think it's just as impressive what the Steelers did. I just think it's impressive in 2 different ways. Because the Patriots lost their first few. They lost against the Bears in 85. They lost against the Packers in 96, 97. They weren't exactly always this great franchise. They had a nice run. They had the GOAT, and again, in their own way, it's impressive in its own way. The way that the Steelers were the first team to win Super Bowls 4 out of 4 and 6 years, and the way they came back and bounced back and got a couple more Super Bowls. So again, I just think they're both impressive in their own ways, but I couldn't agree with you more. This is why it's time. It's time to win that 7th. No 2 ways about it. Tortilla says he spent 19 years avoiding questions. He's going to fit in fine. Let me scoot right here to Corey. Corey, don't drink that, says, yeah, the only TV deal Freddie Kitchens is getting is a Food Network deal. Somber, maybe Caden Curry or Lorenzo Styles. They aren't sniffing the round 1 guys. Steeler Freak, John says this Tomlin is going to be on going on MTV. Didn't MTV just shut down?
Yeah, it did.
I was going to say, let's go right here. I'm going to say, what's up, my man Jamal? Always great seeing you, sir. He says, shout out to the GOAT, Mike Tomlin. LOL. Steeler Freak says this. He says, Dungy spot is open, as you were saying, Mike. Joe Hoffman could be a solid middle range starter for a lot of teams. John the Steeler Freak says this: Tomlin will get a clause to have someone in the show must tell him when TV commercials will be to help with clock management. You know what? He can do whatever he wants, but the one thing that will drive me nuts is if it's January, Mike, and he's on there analyzing and talking, and he starts telling you what you have to do to win playoff games. I will lose my mind. I'll lose it entirely if I hear him on TV telling people what they have to do to win in January. I don't want to hear it. I just don't want to hear it. Dungy's spot is open. We did get that. Where are we at? Right here. Speaking of no chins, where's Derpy?
Derpy.
He's got all the chins, right? Mark Malone, good geometric name. I think geometric. I'm sorry. Somber says Caleb is still running back 3. He'll play if an injury happens, is what it's looking like. And it's just unfortunately for him, Somber. What's that lead him? You know what I mean? You're basically sitting behind everybody after getting yanked for making a mistake last year. At what point do they kind of work him into the equation? I mean, Najee leaves. They grabbed Gainwell. And, of course, Caleb was a rookie last year. But after Gainwell left, then they grab somebody else, and then they throw a Homer in front of them. So just at the end of the day, it just doesn't seem like there's an overwhelming confidence in Caleb Johnson for whatever reason, and it seems to be going between 2 different coaching staffs. If an injury, of course, absolutely. Summer with the injury. Steeler Freak John says, Mark Malone, German? Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Mike, you could probably say that to make it sound a lot more German than I can.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Yeah. What is that?
Do you speak German?
I like it. Somber says this: Ohio State safety prospect Lorenzo Styles Jr. is not going through drills today and is in a sling. No details on the injury. Interesting. John says this is Steeler Freak. He says Caleb Johnson, he was never asked to block or catch in college. Rodgers isn't digging him. The scheme is different. Podge truck is in the near future for him. And here's, and John, you're right. But my problem with that is it's a football. You're a football player. It shouldn't be an overwhelming challenge for you to catch it. People hit you running full speed with all their power and all their might and knock you to the ground 50 times a game. But just catching that damn ball between your two hands at certain points of the game, it's just they just can't get it. They just can't cross that line sometimes. It makes me insane. I mean, the receivers, you know, we're the receivers that don't know how to run because all they do is catch. It's a weird thing to me. You're a pro athlete. You should be expected to be able to do something as simple as catch a football. Tater says franchise that are bad. Did you not read the see those things? Nobody Tater, listen to me. That has nothing to do with football. It's about fucking toilets, dude. If you're worried about toilets, you're not really, your mind's not in the right place. He's going on like because of this report of not having enough toilets.
I know that this is what we're dealing with here.
It's irrelevant. Tater. It's championships is what matters. That's what sports are. Who cares? How many shitters? Who cares?
Shitter's full.
That's why I just can't with Tater. Let's do scoot up here a little bit, Mike. I go JP. Oh, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Ty on the terrible board. Ty the GOAT in the house. He says JPJ is the GOAT. Somber says the GOAT is JPJ. I say it's Ty, but you know, do what you want with that.
You know.
Tater says this. Here he goes with the stadium.
Tater says this. You know something's good is going to flow when your sentence starts with Tater says.
And we already got this one, so I'm actually going to jump over that one as well.
That's a smart move. Smart move.
Grab the next one, Mark. What Mark Malone says here, because they got some German at the end.
Oh no, I gotta get the board back up. I lost it.
Schutzland. I don't know. He says some canines.
Some canine commands for Schutzhound.
Oh, see, I can do that.
Schutzhound. I don't know.
You know, that one really sounded like you knew German.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Summers has enjoyed taking L's on the new field, and while Ben Roethlisberger gets the naming rights, it's probably going to be named Ben Roethlisberger Dome, the daddy of the Cleveland Browns. Let's go right here. Tyrone says yes, Somber number 24. Always great seeing you, Ty. Always great seeing you, sir. Hope things are well. There's just 29 days away from the NFL draft, if you can believe it, Ty. Steeler Freak third rounders have a 20 to 30% chance to be impact players. The numbers go against Caleb. And you know what? I usually like the third round picks because, again, Mike, these are chance guys. These guys have a chance.
Yeah.
Sometimes they could be a Kendrick Green, but other times they could be a really productive player, and they can even crack their way into the starting lineup. I always like third round picks. You could catch a good diamond in the rough sometimes.
Like Nick Herbig.
Nick Herbig is a fantastic example. You know your first round guy is going to be playing almost instantly. You know your second round guy is going to be that third round guy. And we have two third round picks this year, Mike. So three. So, you know, I like that. I like having them extra third round picks. You never know what you might find. It's like finding a good baseball card. Maybe you're a kid and you open them. There's tons of ones that you have a million of and doubles of, but you just get that one. It's worth it. Let's go right here. Summer says, now we know why Tater isn't a Steeler fan. He wouldn't hack it. I know he's worried about bathrooms, guys. But that's why we love him, though, I think.
Yeah, he has a role here.
He has a role. Might be toilet paper, but it's a role.
He's a special teams player. Emphasis on special.
Steeler Freak says, this Tater's a mole. He's really Finchy simulating discussions. That's interesting.
Could be. Have we ever seen Tater and Finch in the same place at the same time?
No, we haven't. I just thought it was because Finch hated me. But now I'm realizing that Finch might be Tater. Let's move along a little bit. Right about here. Dude says this: the people who pay for season tickets for the Browns, also the taxpayer money that goes to the new stadium. Sad. That's the thing. What are they doing? They've done nothing for 25 years. Let's just go get this terrible team a brand new stadium, and that's what they're thinking. They're right. like our Pirates. That's what's going to sell seats, and that's it. We know how pathetic that is because we have the Pirates.
And you know what? You know what's funny too? Like that's why they lost the Browns. Left in the first place.
I know.
Odell left. They gave the shitty baseball team a new stadium. They gave the shitty basketball team a new arena, and they let the Browns, yeah, you wander here and they moved. Maybe that might be the best thing to do again for Cleveland is to not build a new stadium and let the team move so it can actually go be successful elsewhere. Cleveland does not need a football team.
I mean, their biggest accomplishment was a parade for an 0-16 season. I mean,
Yeah.
this is what goes on up there. It's unbelievable. Right here, speaking of Tater says the future is bright. The future is bright. The future is orange, he says.
I can just see him laughing his ass off as
I know.
he sings out. He's like, I got it, Mom, I got a good one. I got a banger.
I'm going to get them, guys. I'm going to get them. I got them. Ty says, yeah, being last. That's the future. John, he says, Brown season ticket holders must buy them as a part of community service and parole.
Oh.
You know, yeah, they make you go out and do community service. They make these people go to Browns games.
Here's
one for you. Tortilla says the Browns probably have more toilets than wins. Hey, you know what? As crazy as they are about toilets, apparently, I bet you. I'd be willing to bet. Mark Malone says I was feeling it in 07. 07, the year of the 3-0 win over Miami on Monday night. Corey, don't I you know what? The only reason I remember that, and specifically every time it would ever be brought up, is because I was in I went to the emergency room because I had diarrhea. Now you think that I'm trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny at all. I had diarrhea for like a week. I had some kind of stomach bug, and I was literally in the hospital, Mike, because of they thought I was gonna have dehydration.
Oh wow.
Well, I called my doctor. I'm like, well, listen, I don't know. I can't stop shitting. I've been shitting for like a week. He's like, you're probably dehydrated. Go to the hospital. And I went, and sure enough, man, they stuck all this IV in me and shit. But anyway, beside the point, when I was laying there in my hospital bed for diarrhea is when that game was actually playing. It was the 3-0 Steeler win over Miami in the rain. And remember the punt stuck in the ground?
That's my favorite memory of that game.
Yeah. I was on my deathbed.
We were so close, guys. Chat, we were so close.
Because I couldn't stop shitting, believe it or not. That's true. It's 100% true story.
Dude. That would suck, man.
If you should imagine, you should go to the doctor for having diarrhea. Go to the hospital, see how bad it sucks.
Fuck that.
They made me, I don't know how far I want to get into it, but they made me poop into a paper hat, basically. I think it was called a hat is what they call it. And you have to poop in it, and they take it, and they do whatever they do. I don't know. But that's a good example, guys. That's where I was when that game was happening. Just in case you're ever wondering. Let's go right here. Corey says this: don't drink that. I don't get how Tater can talk about nice stadiums when he drinks his vodka out of a potato. Let's go right here to John. John says this: Steeler Freak says I would take SoFi Complex. It moved on me a little bit. I would take SoFi Complex for the Steelers, knowing it must be outside the city. Once you see SoFi, you will know what I mean. John follows it up by saying this. He says that one guy who hangs with Jersey Jerry, both have big cash, and rented the billboard. Speaking of Jersey, who's the I don't know. It's something totally non-related. I'm just going to move on. Let's go to Tortilla. He says when you say Super Bowl to Tater, he probably thinks you're literally talking about soup in a bowl.
I might be right.
I'm gonna go right here. Steeler Freak says that one guy who hangs with Jersey Jerry. Both have, okay. We got that one. I must have went backwards. Yeah. All right. Let's go right here. Ty says this. Mikey says I'm going to get 2 jerseys of rookies after the draft. I need y'all. Absolutely, man. I might get a jersey too this year. I don't know. We'll see. John says this MTV 24 Hours is no longer the main MTV channel, which mostly airs non-music reality program remains on the air. Gotcha.
R.I.P. R.I.P. the real MTV.
MTV used to be the coolest thing ever. I was
the shit, man.
In the early 80s, in the 80s when I was a little kid, that was all everybody my parents did. They just sat around and watched MTV all day. Like it was the thing.
Dude, I had that on all the time. Like I had it on. My brothers, we always had it on in our different rooms. MTV always going, man.
I did when I was a kid, but when we got older, I had like I had Garfield. I used to put Garfield and Friends on every day before school, even all the way up to the senior. I used to have cartoons. I'm just I like cartoons.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I was a cartoon guy. I come home after school,
Yeah,
watch some cartoons. You gotta unwind.
yeah.
And shit, I wish I could do that now as an adult. Come home and watch some cartoons.
I do. I like cartoons. I still like cartoons.
Fuck yeah, man. That's some good shit, man.
Steeler Freak says I watched the Steelers kick ass in the 70s. Born in 64 means I knew what time it was and how special it was. I have been chasing the Steelers dragon since. It's like a crack addict. You know what? And I'm in a different situation because John, you were 64, so you were a young kid. That was right through your childhood there. So with me, it was always the we haven't had it yet. In that 05 the 95 96 year was my first Super Bowl, and so I mean it's just a whole different angle that I came in. And there was such a hunger, and we didn't think that they were ever going to win again at some point. And then Bill Cowher came in, it started moving in the right direction. Then they lost the Super Bowl. Then you get Ben 10 years later back in it. It was a whole different ride. So I would love to see it from your angle. I would have certainly loved to go through the 70s and enjoy that with the Steelers and the Pirates and everything else going on. The City of Champions. Tortilla says orange is the new crack. Orange is the new crack. Also, John says this here is an old Steeler timer line. I am glad I was born when I was. Serial killers had an easier life too. Steeler Freak says Russell Wilson is on the third round, or Roman Wilson is on that third round bubble. Gotcha, Roman. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Them guys they're hit or miss with them third round picks, Mike. And Kendrick Green, when he came up and we drafted him, now this guy could play guard, he could play center, he could play tackle. You thought,
he couldn't play shit.
We got ourselves something here. And you know how that played out.
He's someone else's problem now. I don't even know where he's at anymore. I know we shipped him off to the Texans after that.
Yeah.
Well, I lost track of him.
Also, Jamal laughed my ass off. How do you come up with this stuff? LOL. Who knows? Silver says, study the poo in the hat. That's what they did. They called it a hat. It was a little paper, like almost similar to the paper you put down on a toilet. Like it's that kind of paper, but it's shaped different. It's shaped like a circle, and it's got a little drop on it, and you shit in it. And they take your shit and they're walking around with it like it's nothing. It was insane. It was something. Again, I'll never forget the day because I was literally watching that punt stick in the ground as that was all going on.
In the hat.
As I was shitting in a hat. Let's go to move up a couple here more. My God, this time has flown today. I got to be honest. It doesn't feel like 2 hours went by. Let's see.
It's moving today, boys.
It sure is. It's maybe because the nice weather's are coming. I'm seeing every day now. It's supposed to be nicer all the way through next week. I think today's the last day of generally low weather here in Western PA, which is awesome because of just 29 days. Everybody is going to be in Western PA for the big draft, Mike. So the weather today is starting to move in the right direction. Finally, as spring started a few days ago. Let's get right here. Facts. We need to get back to the steel curtain. Absolutely, Ty. Mark Malone, fucking ball gets stuck. Fucking ball getting stuck was nuts. 3-0.
That was a hell of a game.
It was something. So Albert tried listening to the underground hip hop while high, with the cartoon. Absolutely, dude. That's you're talking about my childhood. I loved rap growing up. It was Yo MTV raps. Like I wasn't into the Headbangers Ball. Like that was older. I got older and listened to that stuff. When I was a kid, I grew up on rap music and BET and Yo MTV raps on MTV. But you're right. That's a very good combination. I do agree with you, Somber. Let's move forward here. Tater says, are they using Heinz Field for the World Cup? I bloody doubt it. What? What the hell's a World Cup? I do know that the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Mike, they do have a World Cup tournament game today. That's at 7:00 at Highmark Stadium at home. It was the game that they're making up for last week. They missed because of the weather.
Yeah.
Somber says, yeah, I'm aware of the hat. Hey, you know what the hat? You know the hat? He says, I've done stole Sam. Okay. See, I'm not bullshitting you, Mike. It was a.
I didn't say you were bullshitting me.
They said, here, you're gonna have to poop in this hat. And it was, but I learned something that day. I certainly learned something. I don't know
You-
what it
you-
was.
You learn how to poop in a hat.
I learned to poop in
That's
a
a
hat.
skill no one can take away from you.
John, this should be the trivia of the day, but it's not because it's not Steeler related. But Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles was the very first song ever on MTV. The
And
very first song.
the very last song as well.
Was it really?
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's a good song. Somber says this: Steelers GM Omar Khan and head coach McCarthy are not here, as been reported. Just Weedle and area scout Jim Ward. That's from Alan Saunders. Interesting, because I was reading that Omar was going to be there, but I don't not believe. Somber.
Or is Khan and McCarthy? Did they sneak down to Alabama?
Maybe. And what do you do when you get an Alabama and an Ohio State pro day at the same time?
Right? That's kind of fucked.
Man, talking about athletes. Somber says on Ohio State, of course, and shaking my head. That's a tie. Mike, why don't I shake my head on over to you and you tell us about the website?
Head on over to the2dumyinzers.com, everyone. If you're new here, that's where I have a bunch of our links for all of our different social media that could not fit on the YouTube page. I got articles. Chop has some stuff over there. RB has articles over there dealing with draft stuff. I got my mock draft up from Monday. Check it out at the2dumyinzers.com.
And you know what the weirdest part was? And I'm not even trying to be funny. Whenever I was pooping in that hat, I shit so much leading up to that point, I couldn't poop anymore. Like I couldn't stop shitting for a week, right? And I don't know if it's psychological, if it was coincidence, if my butthole was terrified, whatever it was, I couldn't shit in that hat for nothing. I remember I got up, I went to the bathroom, I'm standing there with this hat. Like, it took a while. And the summer said I was all pooped out. I was all pooped out.
It's all pooped out, baby.
And I'm pushing and my butt's hurting, and you wipe 150 times. You know, when you're going through that. I mean, I was raw as could be back there. Sorry, Georgia. It's usually Tater that's scaring away the women, but
hey, here comes Ryan.
Here comes Ryan
my ass
with the poop tails. Let's go. Real computer animation. No, dude, awesome. Dire Straight video about homos. I know what you're talking about. It was money for nothing and chicks for free. I think it was one particular line that I know that you're talking about. Video Killed the Radio Star was the Buggles. Let's scoot up here. They're allergic to Ohio, which I totally understand, Mike, which is the reason I haven't been to Ohio in many years. Being right here in Western PA, it's very simple to trip and fall into Ohio. I make it a special point in case not to go over there.
I still, it's my state, man. That's where I live, unfortunately.
If my parents were still living over there, I'd be like, well, guess what? No Christmas this year.
I mean, it's not bad. My part of Ohio is not bad. And that's Steeler country.
Yeah.
My part of Ohio is deep Steeler country.
Oh, and Ian's got a dispensary too, so that makes it okay.
Oh yeah, and we have a weed growing facility in town as well. So a lot of things happening over there.
If you're Ohio and you don't have a dispensary anywhere near you, that's when you're completely a loss. Let's go right here. Remember yes, we do remember that. Let's go up a little bit more. Real computer animation. All pooped out. Ty says, sorry I was late, busy day today. Great show. We appreciate that. Always great seeing you, Ty. I understand, man. There's things that people got to do. We get it, but we do thank you. And it's always great seeing you, my man. Mike, it's time to get into some trivia, as this is where we be at the show. I think this is something that it's going to be fun today. I don't know if everyone's going to answer. Maybe I might be surprised, and somebody might nail this, and it's totally doable. You're going to see what I'm talking about here in a second, but do let me say this. Do go check out the website, as Mike said, www.the2dumyinzers.com. There is a lot of cool stuff over there. Mike redid the website a couple months ago, and I am thrilled with how it looks. And between all the work between him, Chop, and RB, looking really good. Go check it out, www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Let's get into it. Gang, my man Jamal. This is the question of the day. Mike, put on your thinking cap. Everybody at home, everybody on the board. Let's get into it. This is the question of the day. So the big three, Mike. This is a big three. We're talking about, of course, Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin in their drafts. That is the subject of the day. The drafts of the big three. All right, here we go. Who was the first draft picks ever for the big three Steeler coaches? In other words, Chuck Noll's first draft pick ever, Bill Cowher's first draft pick ever, and Mike Tomlin's first draft pick ever as Pittsburgh Steeler coaches is the question of the day. Who was the first pick ever by the big three? I'm looking for three different names. If that helps out at all, take a moment to think that through. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the Tube.
On Tube.
Question of the day. And again, it's tough, but at the end of the day, you may be able to even guess it. Some of these answers. Again, let me throw it out there for you. This is about the big three, of course. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. Question of the day. Who was the first draft picks ever for the big three? Basically, the first draft pick by each one of those coaches in their first respective drafts. What is your thought process, Mike? Do you have any idea? Are you putting it together in your mind? What's the thought process?
Mike Tomlin's was Lawrence Timmons.
Lawrence Timmons, interesting.
Yep. Cowher, I'm drawing a complete blank on. I forget what year he was hired. Now, Chuck Noll, that's interesting. So he was hired in 1969. Later that day, the Pittsburgh Steelers draft Mean Joe Green. Now, was that technically his pick because he was hired as the coach? But was he involved in that process? If not, it would be 1970, and that would be Terry Bradshaw. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to say Mean Joe Green, Lawrence Timmons, and can I have a year for?
Absolutely, 1992.
1992. So 1992.
Let me give you. Let me see. I could give you the position.
Okay.
But Bill Cowher's first pick ever was an offensive tackle. If that helps, I don't know. But it was 1992. Mike had said Lawrence Timmons was his pick for Mike Tomlin. He's saying Mean Joe Green was the first pick for Chuck Noll. I'm seeing on the board, I'm seeing Aaron Jade is saying all I could remember is Joe Green. Ty says that's a good question. Also, Tortilla is saying Rashard Mendenhall. One of these days, I'm going to have to throw a question in there, Mike, where Mendenhall is the answer.
And then Tortilla will guess someone completely different.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Tackle 92, Justin Strelzik.
Justin Strelzik.
Fuck, the only tackle that's coming to mind from that era.
I mean, that's not a bad pick, Mike. Let's review your picks then. So you're saying the first one, Mike, of course, way back in the day, 1969, Chuck Noll would have been Mean Joe Green.
Yeah.
You're then saying Bill Cowher in 1992, Justin Strelzik. And then again in 2007, it would have been Mike. It would have been, who did you say? Lawrence Timmons. Is this your final answer? Do you need to switch anything around? Do you need to rethink anything now that's all laid out in front of you? Or is this your final answer?
Go final answer.
All right, let me lock you in place. You were locked in place. Seeing some different answers on the board, Mike. I'm seeing Green Timmons. I don't know the other one for real. That's Ty. Also, Tortilla saying Rashard Mendenhall was drafted all 3 times.
He's a goddamn immortal.
Tortilla says Mike Tomlin was DeCastro. I'm pretty sure I don't know the other ones. Also, Tortilla says ones, and then Joe Montana. Joe Montana, Somber saying on the board. Guys, question of the day. Of the 3 big head coaches, of course, the big 3, Coach Noll, Coach Cowher, Coach Tomlin, who was the first draft pick ever for each of those coaches in their own respective first drafts, guys? Mike says Lawrence Timmons, Mean Joe Green, and Justin Strelzik. Mike, you were really close. You were Mario Lemieux percent close. You were 66. You got 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
You did get Mean Joe Green. You also got Lawrence Timmons.
Mhm.
The one that you missed, Mike, Bill Cowher's first pick wasn't Strelzik, but not too far off. It was Leon Searcy. Leon Searcy.
Oh, I couldn't. Oh,
But
I was thinking Ray Seals, but he was the defensive line. Cersei
Yeah.
was the offensive lineman. Oh,
Leon Searcy. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. That would be the one that I would really expect people not to get going into this.
yeah.
I thought you could figure out Chuck Noll. You were going to be very close if you didn't
Yeah.
figure it out. And then Lawrence Timmons, I think a lot of people remembered Lawrence Timmons being, because wasn't it Lawrence Timmons and Woodley were both in
That
that
was
same
back to
draft?
back picks, and
Yeah.
This is why I I love talking about the draft, but this is why I kind of hate talking about the draft because I bring this up. I hated those picks. I hated them. Linebackers back to back. Me and my buddy were out at the bar watching it. We've been drinking since 11 a.m. because that's when the draft started back then. And he's an Eagles fan, and he didn't like their first 2 picks, and we just fucking left. And turned out
Yeah.
I was wrong. We don't win a Super Bowl without those 2 guys.
Oh, I love Lawrence. I wasn't so high on Woodley, but I like Lawrence a lot. I thought Lawrence Timmons was
He was a fucking tackling machine.
he was. And again, I didn't hate Woodley. I just didn't like him as much as I like
Woodley.
Timmons.
He had a very short window
Yeah.
of productivity.
Yeah.
Him and Harrison were fucking a dynamic duo.
I mean, Timmons was at the top of the tackling board every year, certainly for the Steelers, sometimes more. So again, but that is the correct answer, guys. Mean Joe Green for Coach Noll, Leon Searcy for Coach Cowher, and then again, Mike linebacker Lawrence Timmons for Coach T. So, of course, the relevance of this question of the day is there is going to be a 4th answer to this question, Mike, in 29 days. So this will have a whole nother part, a whole nother chapter, and we're going to see who Mike McCarthy, who his first draft pick is in his first year of the Steelers in less than a month, guys. 29 days. Mike, tomorrow is Thursday. The draft starts on a Thursday. We're just weeks, just mere weeks.
It's getting here, brother. Draft. I can't say it every day. I literally cannot wait for the draft. It's an exciting time for me as a fan because it's new players coming into the team. You're getting an insight into the team's philosophy for not just this season, but going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. This has been all. This has been all of our team for a long, long time, and that's why I love this. And I love talking to people that love the Steelers like we do, because again, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what your background is. People that are Steeler fans, like since the 70s, have really just become a tight knit community. And nowadays with the internet and social media, it's a lot easier to piss people off around you, and I think that's what goes on more than anything.
Yeah.
It's just there's just more outlets for people to communicate, and I think by default, a lot of people are assholes, and people are just going to find ways to piss each other off. But at the end of the day, Steeler family, it is a tight knit community. Pittsburgh's not a big city. Pittsburgh's not, when you talk about sizes of big cities, we're one of the smaller ones, and that, Mike, I think is where stems just such a closeness in the fan base. And then you extend that to all the Steeler fans around the world. It still feels like a tight knit community, even with fans all around the world, Mike. It truly does. That's why I truly love what we do. We do it every day. We do it all year round because, again, I know the passion that I have for this team, and it makes me understand that everybody has that passion as well. And it's again, to know that you're with your people. It's something. It is something. And again, love the board, love the team. I wouldn't change anything we're doing, Mike, for nothing.
Me either, man. I'm loving this. It's the best. It's one of the highlights of my day.
Tyrone says, yes, I did know the 2. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people, that's what I figured. I thought it would be the Leon Searcy would get people. Somber Latrobe is when I get, absolutely. Rookie mini camp. You'd have all the camps, the everything coming up, Mike. And once you get to the draft, though, that's where you're at. So past free agency, past putting a coaching staff together, get past the draft, then all you got to do is it's time to start playing football, whether it be OTAs, whether it be whatever the case may be. Mike, playing football is the next step. So we're getting there.
Close.
We have UFL football Friday. I know a lot of people don't get into it, but again, you want to watch a little American football on your TV. The UFL will be playing all through the weekend. 1 game Friday, 2 games Saturday, 1 game Sunday. That will be out there as well. I do want to say this: while you are watching your football, you're probably going to want to stop and make sure you grab yourself something to drink. You can stop at the Eagle and grab yourself 6-packs and 12-packs of Duquesne Pilsner. That's right, Duquesne Pilsner, Mike. You could also get wherever cases are sold. The people at Duquesne Pilsner are fantastic to us. As a matter of fact, we're putting things together and plans together for what is 29 days from now. We were talking yesterday, and some things are being moved into place for the big draft. We can't wait to be down there with them. We can't wait to see everybody, drink some beer, enjoy ourselves. Lots of people, again, if you're coming from out of town, plan accordingly.
Oh, yes.
But do grab your Duquesne Pilsner, guys. Delicious beer. They always have our backs over Duquesne Pilsner, and I just want to do the favor back for them and put their name out there. If you're not a drinker, swing by their social media, hit the follow button, see what they're up to, show them some love. I'm sure they will appreciate it. We do always have Duquesne Pilsner here in the studio on tap, Mike, for any occasion, mostly football games, but it could be baseball, hockey, anything with the Duquesne Pilsner made right here in Pittsburgh, Mike. And as it says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Grab Yinzer Joe here real quick. He says there's brown all over Cleveland Stadium. There's brown all over Cleveland Stadium. I guess they have no interest having toilets either. Mike, thoughts for the day? We had what do we have today?
We had a lot today.
Some Aaron Rodgers talk, Mike, Caleb Johnson. Anything stand out today that you want to hit home on?
Caleb Johnson, if we draft his replacement in this draft, I will not be opposed to that. I just don't think he has it. Aaron Rodgers is what it is, until he signs, there's going to be speculation galore, but all signs are pointing to him coming back. And very interesting that Kahn and McCarthy didn't go to the Ohio State Pro Day. And
that is interesting.
And I've been looking online. I haven't seen reports of either of them at the
especially when they
Alabama Pro Day, which
especially
is weird.
when they made a point to tell us that Omar Khan was going to be at Ohio State.
Yeah, that's weird.
Interesting. What else do we got, Mike? We also have the Penguins. Playoff hopes kind of in jeopardy, Mike, as they lose again last night, 6-2 to the Avs. They dropped to 32, 20, and 16, which don't sound bad. But at the end of the day, Mike, they're just a couple points from falling out of the playoff spot. I looked at the standings last night. I couldn't believe. How close that they are to not making the playoffs. They're in a spot, but you've seen the last couple of years finished out, Mike. I'm kind of concerned about the Penguins.
Yeah, they're starting to hit a wall here, which kind of maybe to be expected because they have been playing, way better than anyone thought they would be. Losing Crosby to injury, losing Malcolm to suspension didn't help a whole lot because they were on a roll, especially they were on a major roll before the Olympic break, and since then it hasn't been the best. 4-3-3 in their last 10 games. They gotta turn it around, and their biggest weakness is their defensive core, and they really didn't do a whole lot in trade deadline to address that position. So going to be rough going forward. They might have to do a schematic change.
Now, is that after is Letang and Carlson still active? Are they still?
Oh yeah, Carlson's playing some of the best hockey he's played in a long time, and Letang's playing some of the worst Letang type hockey we have seen in a long time out of Chris Letang.
Really?
Oh, he's a turnover machine. He's getting the stuff that he was doing early in his career, he's still doing late in his career, but he doesn't have that speed anymore. And we're tied to his contract for a long time.
Is that what the difference? Is that the difference?
He's playing terrible.
Let's hope they can get back at it, Mike. They are off. They lost to the Avalanche yesterday. Again, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they are at home today in their first round of the U.S. Open tournament in soccer. They host Steel City, Mike, another team from here in Pittsburgh, but it is going to be at Highmark Field today. That is tonight at 7 o'clock. And again, the Pirates off a couple days, Mike, till tomorrow. Thursday, they open up their season against the New York Mets tomorrow. So we'll be following that. So much going on. And again, Mike, the draft just 20 29 days away. Unbelievable. I want to say a few things before we do get ready to wrap things up for today, though. Go check out our social media. Go check us out at Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. Keep up with what's going on with the two Dum Yinzers on a day-to-day basis. Go check us out, hit the follow button, and you can do just that. And also, if you haven't had a chance, do hit the like button down below. Hit the sub, the share, leave a comment if you will. It all helps out in the algorithm, guys. We appreciate it all. Thank you. Mike, what else? Again, the Penguins, if they don't make the playoffs, that's going to ruin the bet early.
That is going to ruin the bet early because they have to not only get in, but they got to make it out of the first round.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of concerned about that.
I'm kind of concerned because they were the first team, and that was going to be your hair or your beard.
Yeah,
we can modify the bet to where whatever team makes it out of the first round, we shave those parts off.
No, I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see because
they're kind of screwing the pooch.
Yeah, they are too, man. Because they were rocking and rolling, and we thought we had a good thing going here.
Yeah,
with the curse of Marc-Andre Fleury's rearing its ugly head.
Again, no Pittsburgh team has advanced out of the first round since Marc-Andre Fleury got traded away. I'm not talking about the Penguins. No Pittsburgh team has advanced out of the first round, Mike, since Marc-Andre Fleury got shipped to Las Vegas back after the 2017 season. So it kind of gives you an idea of how things have been as of late. Very uncharacteristic for Pittsburgh, Mike. We usually field some kind of competitive teams in our city. Yeah. I don't know what the hell this curse is, but ever since Marc-Andre Fleury left for that expansion draft to go to Las Vegas, a Pittsburgh professional team has not advanced out of the first round of the playoffs. How does that even make sense? How can you even make sense of that?
It's weird. I don't get it.
I do want to say this, so I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out and joining us, checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I also want to say, guys, I want to thank everybody on the board for coming and hanging out. You always make the show interesting, and we couldn't do it without you guys. The board, you're always on your A game, and it's always recognized, believe me. I want to say thank you as well to everybody at home. Maybe you're listening in the car, at the gym, at the workplace even. Guys, thank you too. Hey, Yinzer Joey, thank you, sir. See you later, and also peace to Ty as well. Mike, I guess that's it. I think that's it. A lot is going on, but nothing at this exact moment. You have NCAA back at it tomorrow through the weekend, wiping out the next two rounds to get down to the Final Four. You have the Buccos starting off tomorrow against the Mets to open up the season. Penguins trying to stay in the race. Riverhounds, big game tonight. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike, 29 days till the draft. We're going to learn more about this team as we continue to move forward, see if they continue to make any moves. They might be done. They might be done with the free agency. We don't know. We'll certainly keep our eye on that and everything else moving forward. And we'll certainly be talking about that and everything else tomorrow at our regular time as we do come back for the Thursday installment of the show, Mike. Again, 29 days till the draft. I got to start mentally getting myself ready for this.
Yeah, yes, you do. And speaking of the draft, from Shefty, Ty Simpson is scheduled to have a private workout Friday with the Jets. They have picks number 2 and 16.
There you go, Ty Simpson, private workout with the Jets. They have number 2 and number 16.
Take him.
I can imagine. I can see them taking him.
Yeah, I can see them taking it at 16. That'll be a Jets move. I can see them taking him at number 2. That would be the ultimate Jets move. With all those great players, we're going to go get the second best quarterback in this draft.
You too, Salmer. Thank you as well. Peace, my friend. Mike, anything else? I'm going to come to you one more time. Speak now, forever hold your peace. If you have nothing, we're going to wrap it up and start regrouping and getting ready for tomorrow. Mike, speak now, forever hold your peace. All right, guys, we want to thank you so much again, everybody, for coming and hanging out. Awesome seeing everybody. Awesome talking to everybody about all things Steelers. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again at our regular time. We hope to see everybody then. I guess that's it, guys. We thank you for Finch. And Finch will be in Friday, maybe RB tomorrow. We'll see what's going on. I like to get shopping when he gets available as well. So a lot of things still coming up, guys. A lot to get us ready for this draft in just 29 days. For Finch, for Derpy, for RB, for Chop, Mike, myself, for the Two Dum Yinzers show. Everybody have a great Wednesday. Have a great hump day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.